That's right. We're back here again. It's Thursday. All American beef time. We're here live in the meat pit. And big news, the rookie critic has cooked a steak and ingested it.
I did all by myself with a little coaching from the Angus maestro. Essentially, yes.
I popped his steak cherry.
Well, I've had steak before, but as far as cooking my own, yeah.
Well, you never cooked it. Yeah. Popped
yeah.
Popped your steak cherry.
Funny enough, yeah. As an adult grown man, nope, I haven't had to make my own steak. So I was like, all right, shit, I'll give her a try, a Ruski. I think it turned out okay, though. Next time I'll put more flavor on it, more seasoning, because it was okay.
He wants to go to Flavor Town!
I used to be a plain boy who just doesn't really like to season things, but now
you're like, oh, I make nachos with. I'm like, yeah. What do you put on it? You're like cheese and beef, and I'm like, do you? What seasoning do you use?
Sometimes
I just cooked the beef, and I'm like,
sometimes
what?
It takes me a while to add more flavors. Okay, sometimes it takes me a while, but I usually get there.
When I hear these things, Rookie, I just want you to get like a real perspective. It's like when I hear these things from you, it's like I'm going to Africa and I see these starving skeleton babies with bloated bellies. Like that's what it feels like. The shock to my body. It feels like witnessing that when you're like, oh, seasoning, what? Like a sandwich without sauce. Like this is traumatic. You know, it's like, I
guess
I want the UN to like, airdrop fucking seasoning and delectable meals to you when I hear this stuff.
Well, it's just sometimes I was in situations where it just wasn't much offered or there, and I just would eat what was there, and I was like, oh, that's fine. So that's how I like it, I guess.
Then it's Stoney.
We'll learn it later.
What is up? Yeah, he's like, you don't season your meth? Yeah, chili pea. It's a secret ingredient if you get that reference. He's like chili powder. He's like, I hate chili powder. It's like, damn it! Ah, God, we gotta get the one Mexican that didn't like chili powder. It's like, oh man, I found the one black guy allergic to watermelon. What the fuck? Like,
how is it? What are the odds?
Papa Cotton, how is it going, my friend? Do you want to come in stream and partake with us? Perhaps partake of the horn of ceremony.
Yeah, we should have like live streamed us making the steak or something.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. Round 2. We'll do that.
Yeah, another time. Yeah,
next week we'll do that.
For sure. For sure.
You have not watched Breaking Bad, but you know that scene. Yeah. Again, Cotton. If I'm assuming you're high or drunk, and that's like you're feeling good. If it's just sober, feeling good, awesome. That's how usually I roll. Not like an AA guy or anything. I don't know. I've never understood like let's get fucked up and like was it like a party or something? No, I'm just gonna bang out this 30 rack and I'm like, what the? That's fucking sad. Like
you're just a pussy for not drinking more beer than me.
It's like I'm good being a lightweight. I'm saving money. Like
it's like I want to be conscious enough to realize what's going on, and then
like I've only been blackout. Like as far as I know, I've only been blackout drunk like twice, and generally it's like it's slow, I guess. But like the times I got really fucking drunk, I remember like the things that happened, and people thought like, oh, he's so fucked up, he's not good, and I'm like, yeah, I remember that. It was, probably fell at a different speed for me than you, but
you guys only see me drink on my birthday. That's when I get drunkarooski. But we need to one of these days. There's so many things Angus and I try to watch, and I'm like we're on like what halfway through season 2 on Breaking Bad for me now on our watch. Yeah.
Surprisingly, I'm waiting to get like in season 3. I think that's when it's gonna like pick up. Papa Cotton, I am sending you the link if you want to join us.
Ever see Saving Sarah? What? I'm looking at his message here, but ever see Sizemore? The Saving Sizemore. The name that sounded weird to me, so I was making sure that was
Saving Sizemore.
correct. But I
Oh,
wasn't sure.
Starring Tom Sizemore. Yeah, he died this year. I'm hearing it might have been like his handlers got him fucking. They enabled his drug use or something. I don't know. I've not verified any of this. I don't know the cause of his death, but it makes me sad because I love him in Private Ryan and Heat. He's a good, I think he's in Black Hawk Down, if I'm not mistaken. Like he's a guy that like. Oh, what?
No, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm looking at other things. Your Wi-Fi is shit. You can't go live. You get dropped. What a bitch. Well,
I was gonna say we
yeah, no, Tom Sizemore died.
Indeed. Well, I was gonna say, so earlier this week, you reminded me of just out of this moment. I thought of it. Remember for a topic now, slightly. So the Ace Ventura, there's like random controversy over how the character was perceived or something, right? The woman who plays
Einhorn.
Yeah, the woman who plays a trans woman. Like that's funny. Like the way that's hilarious to me. It's literally a.
When people say like I identify as a woman, and it's like a bearded guy. It's like, oh, we're using our fake identities. I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like we decided with that controversy around, they're like, oh, they're being treated horribly and whatever, and I'm like, I don't know, I thought it was funny, and but then so it's been years since I've seen Ace Ventura, so we popped in old Ace Ventura again, and it holds up a lot better than I thought it was. I remember it being really stupid, but like it was like it follows through pretty good for being a comedy. It's got consistency, decent flow. There might be a couple things that are a little like what, or like lucky, but it's
oh my god, the fucking plot of the Miami Dolphins, like 84. Like, don't pick
Angus
a historic fucking team with such an accolade as being number 2 in the NFL, winning the AFC Championship with a rookie quarterback. Dan Murray's either rookie or a second-year quarterback, so it's like a huge feat to lead a team to the Super Bowl with that stature of like, I'm a new guy. And yeah, and then it's like, oh, dude, Finkel, he missed a field goal. They hate Finkel and it's like, no, they lost by 22 points in 1984. Shut the fuck up.
No, but the plot works better if they change history.
Just make up a whole new fucking league. Like have the Miami Dolphins roster and use their stadium, but just be like, oh, it's the Miami porpoises, like you just gotta put a new coat of paint on it, call it something else, and like we understand, and you'd probably save money.
It made me think of like, oh, what if they made like movies that like get slight information wrong on purpose, like Star Wars came out in 1982, the first one or something. It's like, what? Why are you lying? Like, why are you doing that? It's like just.
Yeah, no, as a football fan, I don't even like the Dolphins. And I'm like, I'm having, whoa. Like, wait. I know this is fucking the, second Super Bowl of the Niners dynasty? Yeah. I know, it's a fucking blowout. Dolphins started hot, and then, like, they figured them out, and they lost by 22 points, which is bad. It's really bad.
Hello, Karen.
Oh. Uh-oh. It's Karen time.
They better get their hands off my butt.
But before we continue further, it is that time. It is the time for...
This concludes the Horn of Ceremony. The Horn of Ceremony!
There we go. Mixed it up. Whoops. Get your cups ready, all in the audience. Rookie, get a thing to drink. Doesn't have to be alcohol, but it helps. And we imbibe the nectar of the gods.
My camera's in the most retarded spot on the laptop as I'm in my chair.
This concludes the Horn of Ceremony.
There we go. We have officially christened the stream. Someone, I think last week, we did not. christen the stream with Vase, which would have been fun because it's Vase.
We got deep.
I was so engaged with him.
There's so much philosophical conversation.
Yeah, I was just engaging with the guy so much that it just totally slipped my mind to like little moments of levity. The dolphins. Good one.
Yeah, it was freaking
flattering fun. Angle there, Rook. Yeah, I like your fatty.
What freaking Artard like puts the camera on like the keyboard pretty much.
You should turn it back on.
It's like
it should just be a random thing you just pop in and you're like at that angle.
Because it's like look like it. So where it is, it's like hey, my eyes like it's just on my lap normal. And then it's just going.
So you have to like pick up your laptop to like
say
hi.
Normally, so like I'm pointing at it right here, and it's like normally you would be up here where a camera would be up here, but no. But I guess it's a thinner screen that way. But I'm not attached to the normal my Logitech, so. So I'm sitting in the chair.
At least you have a camera on your laptop. Like I bought a $2,000 laptop, and it doesn't even have a camera built in. I had to buy a separate camera.
Yeah, I feel like that's like a deficiency at that point because it's kind of
they did it on purpose because it's like, oh well, hey gamers, do you need a streaming camera? Then we got the Asus camera. It's like why didn't I would just pay more to have it fucking on the laptop.
It's like no. Let's have a car without cup holders. It's like we've gone to a point where that's an obvious thing you include in the fucking thing. Like on laptops, they come with a fucking camera, especially if it's over like $2,000. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually ingesting wine today.
Oh.
I was shopping with Rookie on the phone, and I was just like trying to find something like light, fruity. Like a good little essence to it, not too sweet, something smooth. And I'm like, oh fuck, yeah, the watermelon mint Moscato. I had that a couple weeks ago, and it's so crisp and refreshing, especially if you ice it.
Watermelon mint wine. What?
You can make fucking wine out of any fruit, Rookie.
Just like the combination of watermelon and mint sounds odd to me, and then it's a wine.
That's a common pairing.
I've never heard of that pairing before.
Yeah, cucumber and mint, possibly strawberry and mint, or strawberry and like cucumber, strawberry and watermelon.
I just
they all kind of go together because they're kind of like aqueous fruits, especially watermelon. Watermelon fuses so well with water. So, of course, I mean it's in the name for a reason. It's like 90%. Well, actually, cucumbers are melons as well.
In the family.
Yeah, they're like, it's funny. There's this TikTok where this girl's like, I guess into botany. She's like, yeah, vegetables aren't real. They're not a thing. It's like cucumber, melon, this vegetable, this fruit category. And it's like, oh my God, she's totally right. Like, why did we make this? Why did we make this? Like, how have we organized this way? I mean, I get it. Cause it's like, well, this is like yummy fucking fructose. And this is, like, my vegetables. Oh, asparagus.
I used to think that the difference was the fruits are from trees, vegetables are from ground. But then it's like, but you can get fruit on ground. So what are you fucking talking about?
Yeah, tomatoes are a fruit and they're from the ground.
So it's like, by definition, why would that be the definition if that's incorrect?
I mean, asparagus, I'm pretty sure are like sprouts.
That would be kind of funny to have a coconut garden. Now I think about it, though. Like,
I mean, you could have a garden with coconut trees.
My palm tree coconuts, but they only grow about 6 feet tall.
Different, but whatever. Supermensch. I'm trying to figure out a good slogan for it. I actually typed in Supermensch. Superman. English.
Superman, boy.
Corin Sweat. Oh man, what a weird name.
Yeah, everybody's having trouble with the names for the new castings.
I'm waiting for it to turn out. It's like corn sweat or something. Like you like truncate. It's spelled one way, but it's truncated like French, where it's like Favre. It's like Brett Favre. It's like literally the letters are backwards to how you'd read it.
Right.
Yeah, like Worcestershire. It's like say Worcestershire. Worcestershire. It's like there's a fucking Massachusetts blend.
So some words are meant to be said with a slur or something, or the people that combine sentences.
Right, like
into...
neighbor, of course.
Not every N-word is your favorite N-word, okay?
It is such a good word. It's so fucking
Thanks.
good. It's so we were watching South Park right before this, and what a good time. What a good time. Let me add this here. Let me share this article. I'm trying to figure out a good way, like a slogan for this channel, this stream. It's like we're talking about it, but we probably don't care. Why are you quiet, Ricky the Critic? Oh God, hold on. Hey, Pavik, let me know if you hear me. I'm sure Ricky's have to go through his phone or something. Great title. Thank you. Uh-oh. Be right back. The Rookie the Critic's calling. Yeah, okay. So this is weird. Say hi, Rookie.
Hello.
Let me know how that sounds to y'all. I have them up to the mic.
Yeah, my stupid internet, my Wi-Fi is like, nah, I don't want to work right now, bro. So crap.
So you can't even look at the StreamYard, like if I'm showing something?
Nope. Sounds like I should tell my mom about it. Wi-Fi's down.
Mom, the Wi-Fi's down. Where's my chicken nuggets, Mom?
She was like, hey, stupid ass things down. Gotta let her know what's up, because otherwise she'll think I can fix it, and it has to. It'll fix itself. It'll fix itself. It does that sometimes.
This is funny because this is a problem for me. Is my goddamn computer was just so slow. I could barely like do any function. Like starting it was a hassle. And it's like, yeah, I'm getting into the internet. Just like I'll be there like in 30 minutes. Literally, that's how bad it was with that damn computer. But oh my God, he's back.
All right. Am I good? Am I beautiful?
Yeah, I hear you. I was talking, and it's like it wasn't just you being quiet. It's like there's no fucking air feedback from you. I'm like, what?
Yeah, what happened to his breathing?
Fine dining and breathing.
No,
yeah, Karen, if you weren't
end,
listening earlier, the Rookie Critic is finally grown up. Got a little hair on his chest now. He ate a steak.
I ate a steak
that he cooked.
I cooked the steak. Yeah.
It's been a fun time, irritatingly for me. It's just like, how do I cook a steak? What do I do? I'm like, you put it in the skillet. You get a skillet.
It's like, okay, from
get lubricant.
Holy shit! From the
oil or butter.
You're thinking you do this as like your daily routine that you shit out of your pants, and you can do this with your eyes closed. I am someone who does not really cook much at all. Like I make eggs, and I can make nachos. And like hotcakes, like
yeah, you can make eggs. You can make a steak like that. There's a reason. There's a reason why men grill. Why men cook the meat.
I was looking up for how to do it with. I barely have that many things to like utilize with it. Everything I looked up is like, oh, here's a specific recipe with these like 5,000 things you can put on a steak, and I'm like, I have some oil. and I have a seasoning. Like what? I have nothing else. Like why?
There you
why
go.
is
That's
everything
it.
else- But it's like
It's so
just-
satisfying,
wanna-
right? Like
wanna
you
sear
eat
it with
a
this.
a whole steak, and it's like, oh, a side vegetable.
But
What
yes,
are you talking about? I had a steak.
But regardless, I put it on the pan and I made the steak and it tasted fucking good. But it did lack a good amount of seasoning. I want I want a more variety on it next time, so I will add more to it. I just had like brown, or what I'd like
Black garlic
brown or
and
black
parm.
garlic, yeah, black garlic Parmesan.
Right.
something.
I mean, you'd think, well, this guy works at Subway. He probably eats Subway off and on.
Well, it's
you
like
know?
making sandwiches.
So, like,
is
oh, let me
extremely
make
different.
actual real food that's not just out of the fridge. Boom, boom, boom. 5
Yeah.
minutes, and I got a stacked cold thing, which
Yeah,
that's great.
Taking out bread and then just like putting meat and cheese and veggies on it is different than like cooking meat to a good point and have it
Yeah,
taste
taking
good.
like 30 minutes or an hour or more to like prep
Well,
food.
and it's the kind of thing too where like when you hung up the phone for a few minutes, I was like, well, should this be on here for like over 5 minutes? Probably, I don't know. And then you're like, no, it should probably be on like 1 minute. I'm like, oh fuck, like, like I don't know what's obvious with it, but now I'm getting the hang of that at least.
No, it's like,
so.
is it burning? Then okay, you're probably good then.
Well,
Like-
now and it's funny. No, if you think, oh, look it up on YouTube or something, I did, and the first thing the guy did was fuck up his instructions, and then he put it in the oven and then back onto the stove, and I'm like, what?
Oh, I've
Like,
heard
what are
of,
you
I've heard
fucking
of some
doing?
of this
Like,
stuff. Yeah, I've
I
like
was like-
oven cooking it for a bit.
Well, his
I've
was
heard
like
of
a
these
5
things.
pound thing or something. So I guess.
Oh,
that's
he had a
different, but-
roast. Okay,
Yeah.
that totally makes sense. Yeah, no, I actually bought a roasting tray just for future attempts at playing with the lamb roast recipe. But yeah,
Let's
it's just
see.
it's funny. Like literally, like I had the like pound and a half steak and a little bit of guacamole and some lime chips, and I'm like, fuck, it's so satisfying. I'm full. I just need water through the night, and having my
yeah.
wine tonight. But yeah, it's just
Mhm.
like,
Yeah,
I'm so satisfied.
I'm in like food coma. I'm like, man,
when
I
you
haven't-
get
I haven't
out
had
of
steak
when
in
you get
years.
out of carbs and you really cut down. I'm a fat guy, and I've been slowing down, but I'm a fat guy. But it's like, well, it's just because I'm having good food in excess. It's not because I'm like, ooh, Twinkies and lots, like the cereal. I get fucking wheat checks, high fiber, it's just I just need to slim down my portions. That's really that, and actually go to the gym again. But
Yeah.
no, I'm eating good.
Well, it's funny because people can think, oh, like if I just eat vegetables and fruit, I'll be good. But if you eat too much of that too, that still won't help you. Like that's still bad. Like you can still get fat. Like look at cows and shit. They eat grass and look at them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
no,
so
it's just it's fun stuff. It's so satisfying. You just come home and you're like, no, I didn't pull into the drive-through. I was a good boy, and I came home and I grabbed that steak or that lamb chop and I sprinkled a couple seasoning on it and fucking threw it in the skillet, waited, 5-10 minutes, and then I had a satisfying, real, as much as like in the modern day you can have as a normal
true.
person, real food, quote unquote, that I cooked from the grocery store. It's satisfying. It's like I love Taco Bell. I have Taco Bell at least once a week. I'm gonna have some for breakfast tomorrow because it's payday and I was craving fucking the breakfast, but I'm at work and I don't know how the fuck the Taco Bell delivery orders work because I'm like, I can't put the whole address of my work in here. So I'm like, number, street, but I couldn't finish with Parkway. And so I'm like, can I even trust this is going to deliver to me? Am I going to pay for a ghost breakfast crunch wrap? I can't deal with that.
Nope, too stressful.
Yeah.
But
And that's going to make me more hungry. So
it's fun for me because like I'm a picky boy and I don't try many things. So I'm gonna be trying new things though. Oh, fuck! I bought a banana. Oh my god! I'll try a banana again. It's been a few years since I tried one last. Maybe I'll try one on our stream here. Ugh. Gross! I hated bananas. It's the kind of thing that I think it looks like it tastes good. It looks like it should taste good, but then you put it in the mouth and then like, ugh.
See, that's your problem. All right. If it doesn't feel good in your mouth, you might try another orifice.
I was not. I thought you were gonna be like, oh, you got to put some salt on it or something.
Well, I mean, I eat cantaloupe with salt. I've never thought because like a banana is such a full flavor, just like it's a banana. It's like kind of it's like a fatty fruit. It's like you can really live off of bananas. It's it's got fructose. It's got some fat. It's a well-rounded fruit versus like a cucumber. Cucumbers are filling, but it's just water and like vitamin A. So it's like you're gonna be hungry after a while, or you're gonna like but yeah, full rounded punch with bananas.
I guess I'll go get the banana. Ugh.
Yeah, you get that banana.
And then I'll have it on stream before we get too deep into the.
Yeah, you're gonna show us the banana on camera, aren't you?
I guess dirty fuck you, son of a bitch. Fucking banana faggot. All right, but yeah. So while I go and get that, what are you gonna talk about there? You got Superman casting.
Yeah. I like it was just the big news. I'm like, whatever.
I don't care at all.
I here's the thing. I love Marvel, like not just the movies. I mean, now they suck, but like up to Endgame or No Way Home, like man, what a great run, And we just got it so consistent. I think John Campia showcased on a stream, like it's like, dude, Marvel, look at these movies, bam, 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 bam. This is all in a row, and it's like, fuck, these are all like really good successes. Money wise, like Black Panther's in there, but it's like but people liked it. I don't get it. It's racist, and it's a fucking identityless black character. I hate Black Panther as a template. It's not interesting. Cool suit, but like just it's not interesting. Well, it could be, but they're never gonna go that way. Like they'll make him a conflict with the heroes, but it never goes full bore. Like, yeah, you're a fucking black nationalist, like for your specific black people, and like what like it's nice that they addressed it a smidge in the first movie of like, all the genocide of colonial Africa, like we could have done something, but we just pretended to be poor. Like and it's just arbitrarily, oh well, now we're gonna care, It's like, well, this is kind of stupid actually, because it's like, well, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't conquest the rest of Africa and not even allow the white man to take Africa. But all right, you're stuck with history, so you gotta fucking thread the needle with history to make the plot make sense. Okay, fine. I think they should have, honestly, if you're really taking history into account, I think they should have made the Black Panther like it's just legitimately the Islamic Triangle is disputed territory. So just have something where it's like, oh, colonial Africa, maybe the fall of colonialism in Africa, and then in this disputed territory, bam, a fucking rock crashes there. Somehow it wasn't even perceived by almost any space intelligence, and they figured out, wow, we can make cool shit out of this. And so you have like, it's recent, there's no need to like address history. And so there's no even culpability to the Black Panther legacy in Wakanda. Because it's like, well, if you're this powerful and you make fucking space tech, why would you charade as a poor? Like, why wouldn't you just take over the continent, if not the world? Makes no sense. But yeah, he talks about this whole string of movies that are just like huge successes leading into Infinity War and Endgame. And it's like, this is fun, but like, I want that all the time. I want like a high bar. And sure, to some degree, all the superhero stuff it's stupid cartoons put to live action. But there's real arguments you can have for years, essays you can make with like the templates that they offer. So there's value there. So I guess the reason a kernel of actual interest for me with this is I want Superman to do good. I want DC to do good. Just so there's competition. Like we're suffering this. America is Marvel. Marvel has like agreed to like take on this diversity crap and white hate, America hate, male hate in their billion-dollar films because they've already hit the top and there's no competition. They have dictated blockbuster cinema for like 15 years. Not just like their run, but like another 15 years or more, we're going to be feeling the positives and negatives of their influence until it crashes and burns eventually. Because most people aren't going to actually like make films with superhero template. They're just, well, there's the new guy with the suit and there's his origin and woo, it's just like, it's why Sony sucks. But yeah, America, we've already gone through this and we're living through it now. We're living through decades of the end of the Soviet Union. We have no competitor. China is not a competitor. Economically, sure, they steal our IPs and make copies, but they're not a competitor. Like, they're not going to, like, you send 1 billion troops of Chinamen. They're not taking America because our military has just the firepower to withstand them numbers, but also the citizens, like, we have a spirit of freedom that like they cannot crush. So no one's there to, and that's the problem. DC is needed. It's necessary evil. If you're just a diehard Marvel guy and you like DC sucking, it's like, well, this is in your best interest to keep the value up. But yeah, you got a banana. DC will never beat Marvel. I mean, I am a Marvel guy. Marvel has a better template of characters over powers, but I want them to do good. All right, Ricky, you got a banana.
I indeed do, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't like bananas as far as I remember. Bananas are no good. No good. Don't like them. Don't taste good. But it's been like 4 years since I tried one before.
Tastes good.
I've grown as a big boy.
It's a sweet,
should be
God-given fruit. I mean, not Ray Kroc, but who's that Christian guy that makes the argument that, like, look, the banana was designed for the human hand.
Yes, apparently, yes. And I'll admit, it looks all right, smells all right, but does it taste all right?
Oh, it's such a good smell.
I'm not sure about that. I'm a good boy there. It's all yellowy and whatever.
That's a good color.
I'm going to do something that I don't normally do and just go dive in.
It's like an avocado. How do you eat avocado and you're like, banana?
Don't like it. It tastes like soggy cereal. But I powered through it and didn't throw up because
but you didn't. No. Powered through means you ate the whole banana.
I mean, I didn't spit out the one that I tried. That's
what I did. You're wasting like 3/4, 80% of a banana.
The last time that I tried a banana on camera,
dude, banana farmers, banana farmers are destroying the gorilla population to harvest this fruit for you, the pampered American. We're destroying the gorilla ecosystem. We're killing our cousins for economic growth. And it's already, how many girls died for that banana, Rookie? How many girls did not prosper because the farmers had to fend them off from eating the banana tree roots so they could.
Don't matter.
Oh my God.
No. The last time I tried one, I spat out the first bite that I tried.
Oh my God.
I don't like them, man. I don't like them. But I will say that I have the ability, the self-control. I have grown to the point where I can power through it without going gross, spitting it out.
Hey,
but I still don't
Laszlo
like
Panaflex says dicks out for Harambe. Well, except for Rookie, because he's a bitch, doesn't finish a banana that killed the cousin of Harambe to grow.
Angus and I are very different people. He clearly cares about. I never knew he had any carings for the gorilla brothers. Of the jungle.
Dude, I love gorillas. I was there at the gorilla riots in Minnesota. And one gorilla died. The cop killed him.
He got me there.
No, I do fucking love gorillas. I don't have lots of gorilla merch, but yeah, I got this on my desk along with caught it. Kobe. 1 second. Let me fix this. Make sure it looks good.
but-
It's totally fucking crooked.
But you see, past me would be like, wow, you ate the banana piece and you didn't spit it out. Wow, that's amazing. Because you would have just spat that shit right back out. So progress, Angus.
Progress, I guess.
Whether it be slow
Sure.
as a turtle's mile, I don't know what to say with that. Anyway, showing a gorilla.
Wow. I disown all of you fucking people.
I actually like avocados. Right?
Wait.
That's
What's
what's
this
funny.
peeling it wrong? You peel it like a cartoon monkey. Boo, boo, boo.
That's what I did. What do you
No,
mean?
no. Bobby Cotton said you peeled it wrong, and I'm like, I disagree.
Oh, yeah,
I know
'cause
there's like a pinch peel. I just
I mean, I just
the
peeled it.
stem is
Like-
there. When it ripens, it's ready to be a handle.
Like if it naturally just kind of does that, I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, Sonny McIntroduced with a wrong opinion says avocados are not my thing, but bananas are
Yeah.
great. Where
Yeah,
you're half correct.
I
You
would
need to get the
happily-
other half that avocados. are
I would
your
have
thing.
avocado on a sandwich. That is actually fine.
And
I don't get
Karen with more of the same trash from Stony McInternet ass face opinion. Remember in Ace Ventura, it's like you don't know how to process your anger. He's like, you're ugly. Like I never picked up, like it's funny, like aha, as a kid, but then like you actually have the thought process of an adult, and it's like, oh, like
Yeah, that's him not
he did it
processing
right
the
there.
anger, right.
She called it out.
proved him.
What
Right.
great fucking like timing of that delivery, but also like the thought of the setup. It's jokes like that where it's not even necessarily a joke, it's comedic, and like that's the type, like Ace Ventura is in the realm of like it's like a fusion of SpongeBob and George of the Jungle. It's got like strange shit when he fucking pretends that he's been like mauled by the toilet or whatever after the
Don't go
shark.
in there.
Right. And he's flinging the water, so everyone thinks it's like shit water. And then also the guy's like, I'm sorry, Mr. Turtle, I'll have the plumbing checked immediately. He's like, well, you better. If I had been drinking from that toilet, I'd likely have been killed. It's like,
It's just like that's so not needed. Well, even like when he's in the asylum and he's trying to hide in the box, and then the guy doesn't even go into the room anyway, and then he just like unfolds. It was like that wasn't needed at all, but that's just funny. I don't know.
I appreciate like the body humor. See, like this is an extension of Three Stooges.
I
you
guess.
know,
I mean, I guess I.
That's
like
why
the
it's like
evolved
Looney
form
Tunes, Three
of-
Stooges, like this kind of like just ridiculous. I mean, at some instances, live action, it's like, oh man, this is a bit much, And having seen Living Color, I know like this is Jim Carrey shit. It's not like they didn't write this necessarily. This is just him with like a hairdo, but. And that's why I think this guy would be fucking annoying in real life.
Probably. Well, it's like when he's pretending to be a delivery person and he's just kicking and destroying the package he's delivering. I know that people watching are like, no, what if that's our package? Like, what if they're doing that to mine? And then it's just not even for that anyway.
Wait, sorry. I'm catching on this chat, and Senator introduces, hey, since we're on the topic of gorillas, send Rookie that Under the Knee song. I've not heard that, but I already know where that's going. Hilarious. People peel bananas from the stem. Monkeys peel it from the spot. We're doing it wrong.
I mean, as long as it.
Wait. The
goes in
stem is
mouth.
the top, right? Like peel.
I mean, I feel like as long as it gets in your mouth, I don't really see what's the problem. Yeah.
That's what she said.
Exactly.
Whoa, we got a boss in the chat, Huffcast.
What's up?
How is that job treating you?
You missed me shove a banana in my mouth.
Watch the replay.
Mm-hmm. You see, I didn't piddly foot around it either. That's what I would normally do, and like let the tension build. Just went right at it.
Yeah,
Say
I agree,
what you want about
Laszlo.
Jim Carrey, but he is the master of physical humor. Yeah, he's like a living cartoon. Like he is a living cartoon.
Yeah, no, like, yeah, not understanding the plot at all as a kid, I loved Ace Ventura because of Jim Carrey. And also, he's the Riddler, and I love the Riddler in Batman Forever. And growing up as an adult, understanding Batman, loving the Dark Knight trilogy is like, it's a great catch-all of like the essence of Batman, in my view. And I think Nolan really nailed the ideal of Batman. That whole like being a symbol and stuff. It would have been nice to get more Bruce Wayne, like the psyche of Bruce Wayne, not just him utilizing his, skin of Bruce Wayne to like move money and whatnot. Because Bruce Wayne, like, me and Ricky talked about this. I think it's kind of a new revelation from him. It's like a character like Bruce Wayne, that you could argue they're deifying their parents. It's like the things that inspire you are like he's fighting for the justice of his parents, the injustice of his parents' death. But it's also like cathartic for him. It's like he's getting off in a way, beating the fuck out of these criminals because he's like letting out his aggression. Oh, damn it, Rookie. Letting out his aggression on the criminals. He's projecting those bad guys onto the current bad guys. No actual connection besides crime. And I don't know. It's just I can't remember exactly how we got into it, but it was just about how what you can do with superheroes and their motives and religion and stuff. And with Batman as an example of like going in a direction like his parents probably wouldn't have wanted at all.
Gotta leave.
Brian says, just watch Batman Doom to Gotham. Pretty solid. Nice. Yeah, I just showed Ricky the Flashpoint paradox because I saw Flash and explained that plot to him.
Yep, I saw that. That was pretty neat. Not the Flash movie, but the Flashpoint movie is all right. I also watched their Injustice animated thing that like is somewhat based on the comics, but not a direct adaptation. From what I know from listening to a YouTuber talk about it, they do some different shit in there, but it is all right. Nice little alternate type of thing, but here you go, Hofcast. So what's his job now? He's tossing salad?
I don't know. I think he's doing another like warehousing job. He's in like Columbus proper.
Very good. Very good.
I'm sort of in a warehouse. I'm in like a catch-all. I'm in like a half production, half warehouse shipping. So it's kind of cool for our part of the international company. It's like we do it all. So I don't know. It's fun.
Pubcon says you don't even like bananas, Rookie. Your opinion doesn't count.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. But I'll still say them.
Yeah, Laszlo, go get a subscription to Max. I hate that it's called Max, but
I know. HBO.
Go watch Max.
HBO.
They got almost all the animated movies. They're all pretty good. DC. That's their like strong suits. All their animated stuff.
Yeah.
Even their bad anime. It's like, it's still fun. But like, I just watched the new Green Lantern with Jon Stewart. And this is what I'm talking about. DC sucks because they have cool powers. They have the memes of superhero archetypes. When he's like, I need a gadget guy. And even though Iron Man's permeated the social consciousness for the last like 20 years, people think Batman. When you think, I need a fast guy character, like the Flash. Oh, I need a Aquaman. I need like a super strong alien. Oh, Superman.
Yeah, you don't think of the Deep or A-Train?
You don't even think of Hercules first.
No, he's like more like fifth, kind of in that realm of strong fictional.
I want a guy with the power of lightning. Whoa, Thor. That's okay. Like,
well, to be fair, Thor or Zeus, but
yeah. No, I honestly don't think of Zeus. I don't really think of Zeus as like I need an archetype, because unfortunately Zeus has. I think of him more religious, not like archetype of like, I need this power guy. It's like he is Greek Allfather versus like Odin is the Viking Allfather. You know what I mean? It doesn't quite translate for like comic adapt. If I'm trying to make like an archetype.
Right. I thought you were just saying in general for when you think of something. I'm like, I don't know. It's kind of what I come to. But.
Yeah. I think they should file through every known superhero, make a gay or trans or whatever. They want version of every single one. Just get it over so we can be done with it and move on. Well, you know, I've always thought like
Kind of what we said.
well, I've said like you could tell a good story, you know, an Elseworld, like, oh, Captain America in the 40s and he's gay. Because what would it be like to be that character? Like if you actually had a good writer that's, you know, trying to just like not even have an agenda, but just like, all right, this is the template. Make a story, World War II, Captain America, standard story of his origin and pathology, but he's actually gay, you know? And it's like, what would that be like to juggle like a secret life where you are like the Superman of that universe. You're the star, you're the beacon, you're the image of America. But if they knew you who you actually were, an implicit characteristic of you, they would revile and hate you, you know? And what would it be like to like play the part and actually you believe in all this, but you're not you can't actually be your true authentic self.
Well, and even that version, like if he gets in the snow and then wakes up in the modern day, would he be like, wow, everybody can do what they want? Or would he be like, oh my God, there's no respect for like what this is? Everybody's just all blatant about it, like forcing you to be it. Like, would he have any problems with that or how everybody's acting about it? All the gay stuff, like, you know,
you'd have gay Captain America and like he's using a shield of justice, like take that, groomer. Like,
people.
Oh no, I'm not a bit. I'm gay too. You know, like
they offer him a rainbow shield. He's like, no, that's too gay. He's just like, I like men, but not that. No.
Oh, wow, Laszlo works with Hoff. Well, dude, I gotta meet you. I live around Hoff. I don't know if you've seen We Fung Out. So yeah, I live in the vicinity.
Well,
of
yeah,
Hoff.
Hoff said I'm a boss.
No, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he's like, you know, I'm a boss, yeah, or if he's like,
Pendulum
no,
always
really
swings
legit.
back. As far as crappy as all these movies we're getting are, there'll be a new renaissance after of amazing art. That's what. I don't buy that because I think like you hit like okay, the Iliad and the Odyssey, Homer. At least that's who is credit. This figure named Homer. Was he even real? Is it like, you know, it's lost to history who Homer was, or if it's just like Homer wrote, you know, it's like that's the name of the unknown, you know, storyteller is Homer, you know. We'll never even know. And it's like, what's the next like big story that's permeated society and lasted? Some of that's just from the time of, you know, conquest and destruction of artifacts and whatnot that we don't know fully, but you know, I think it says a lot because you got like that, and then it's like I guess the Bible, depending on what era you're talking about, it's like an old story that's lasted, and then you get like, I mean, there's plays or like Ovid and whatnot, Virgil, but that's not really permeating society. It's more like permeating that art form, and then you get Dante's Inferno, and then Shakespeare. You know, so it's like there is huge eras of like, no, they're making entertainment of whatever quality and depth, but there's huge dry spots that are obvious of like they're just retelling the same shit. But you know, everyone was working, so it's like, oh, thank God I can actually go to town and watch Star Wars for the 12th time. You know, like. So I work 16 hours a day in the field and then go to sleep and do it every day until I die, you know, besides like random holidays that I can actually take off in church. So, yeah, it's all relative. I think we're about to hit a real Great Depression. Like, I think there's going to be an era where it's just like, you look at music in between Elvis and that like kind of boom of rock and roll. And then the Beatles, there's this like dead spot of almost like, it's all just the same generic shoo up, you know, rock and roll, if you will. It's hollow, it's manufactured. It's like the hair metal of that era. It was manufactured. Everyone did the same thing. And then bam, the Beatles. And then you get the Stones and the Who and the Kinks and, you know, all that blows up. But, you know, you go through bad spells of time. So that's why I reject your hypothesis. Papa Cotton. You're not all that in a bag of potato chips.
Can't deny his truth.
But yeah, anyway, Superman has been cast finally. Let me share this. Get y'all's take on it. I hope it's good just for the sake of Marvel to stay good.
I honestly don't care at all with it. Just it can be shit, it can be good. I don't care.
You say that, then you see, you're like, wow, you know what? I kind of like this Superman. They got it. They're doing good. I'm down. Let's see where you can. All right, you've done a good opening.
Like I'm the kind. I don't care about the legacy of Superman. I don't care about what he stands. Like I don't know. I didn't grow up with him. He's just a random hero guy. I don't know. To me, you know. So I just don't care.
No. I'm just saying, like a good adaptation. It's just not even. It's good. It's definitely, I think, going to be in line with the essence of Superman's history. But also, I think I'm just saying, like, oh, it's a good Superman movie. Like, this is a good fucking movie. Like, way to go, dude. This is progress and the right step to rebuilding a universe to compete and possibly outshine Marvel. And what a perfect time to do it while they're like down, starting to lose money on these stupid shit that's like half baked because they've been relying on the name to just cram anything. This is why I'm like, come on, let's do it, DC. It's for this. It's like, I'm like, let's go Russia, let's go China, let's go Taliban. Like, we need competition. It's for our own benefit. If you're at the top, no one's knocking you down. You knock yourself down from your own hubris. That's what I'm trying to avoid. I don't want Marvel to flounder and be remembered like, oh man, they could do whatever they wanted in Hollywood, and then, oh man, they made Captain Marvel 5. I look this way because it's like my lamp. I have like a dim lamp. It's not too bright, and so it's like not harsh on me to look at it while I'm thinking. So that's why I look that way. And I got like random stuff for sale for like statues, like Galadriel and shit. So that's what's catching my attention if I'm looking at the screen. I'm sure some of y'all are probably like, what is with this tweaker? It's fucking meth gators looking over that way all the time. But yeah, Superman Legacy, James Gunn taps David Cornsweet and Rachel Brosnahan. I've seen her in House of Cards. That's where I've seen her. She plays Rachel. And yeah, it's tragic. And if you watch House of Cards, Kevin Spacey, her role in that is tragic, but it kind of gives you growth of Doug's character. But I don't know. What I've seen her in that in first season of Westworld, good. I would never expect her to be Lois Lane, but let's see where you go with it. Following months of audition tapes and in-person screen tests, Warner Bros. And DC have their new Clark Kent and Lois Lane. David Cornsweet has been set to play Superman. The decision comes after the two are among the few selected to test in front of DC co-chairs Safran and Gunn, who is directing the Superman movie. The test took place over 2 days with the men. One of the days saw the three actors in full Superman attire. Sources close to the situation said that each actor had closed test deals that would expire after 2 business weeks. So clearly all parties wanted this sorted out before a potential SAG-AFTRA strike. God, is more people striking? Go fuck yourself. Like, these people this whole strike shit. These are the same people that are lamenting the housing market and how it's like it's exponentially growing right now, the value of houses, and yet like we're kind of stagnating on salary. And it's like this can't work forever. This is either corporations are doing this to bulldoze it and make pod buildings for us, the peasants, or yeah, like that would be the motive if it's just endlessly going this way. It's got to bust at some point. It's probably because everyone's getting loans again, like the Clinton years, and setting us up for failure. So there's going to be another bust to some degree. These same people that lament this and want universal wages and whatnot, like they're part of the problem. It's like you're not working, You're never going to achieve a house and the American ideals, you know. And it's like, yeah, it's getting more and more out of reach for everybody, but like you're not even trying. You know, you're trying to price gouge. You're going to price yourself out of a job because that's what unions do. It's just irritating. It's irritating to me. Fuck these strikers, unions. Fuck them. I'm gonna do my job. You know, just hire people outside of the fucking union. That's how it works in other jobs. Oh, the union doesn't want to work. All right, we'll hire people off the street. They're not in the union. I can fire them if I want. Warner Brothers has yet to say whether it'll be attending New York next month's Comic-Con. Yeah, like everyone's not going to Comic-Con this year. Interesting. Marvel, everybody. They've also like they're not going into Comic-Con, so
Yeah, sounds fine.
That said, if there is a SAG after strike, Hornswet and Brosnahan could not attend as strike guidelines say no actors can promote any projects during a strike. Superman Legacy casting process is going on for months. Safran and Gunn wanting a thorough search to find the new leads for this new franchise. The two roles now locked up. Gunn will now look to fill the shoes of Superman's arch nemesis, Lex Luthor, as well as other supporting characters like Kent's friend Jimmy Olsen.
Will he last more than 3 minutes on screen?
Oh, yeah. I was rewatching Vito's What Killed the DCEU video. Which is funny because it's like, I don't think, yeah, he wrote this before Shazam 2, before Black Adam, before The Flash. And he mentions Jimmy Olsen. You know, this is one of many flaws of Snyder's. Like, well, here's like a brief, quick little history of Jimmy Olsen and his role in Superman. It's like he's done a lot of wacky shit. Like Superman made him marry a gorilla. And I'm just like, he's like, yeah, comics were weird back then, but yeah, gorilla.
Well, they're weird now too. So I mean,
I would say overall they're more coherent. They're trying to like build towards something. Like comics used to be just like, here's a guy.
well, I mean,
A thing, and then it's like,
Snowflake
oh, he's doing this today. It was like watching Family Guy, where it's like, all right, Peter does this. He's got like this little wheelhouse of characteristics and views.
armpit wheelchair lady, snowflake safe space. Comics can be weird in the modern day quite a bit.
Right. These are just weak attempts at, you know, pandering, but like actual just the template of comics now is like they're pretty well formulated now for storytelling. But back then it was like, all right, tell me a story in 22 issues with the Superman. Oh, he's got to get his newspaper buddy married to a gorilla. Okay,
The cat falls out of a tree. The cat is from another dimension. It is more powerful than Superman, but Superman has a special gun that Lex Luthor helped him build or something. Just
No, literally, that's how wacky
you have,
this shit
you have a
gets.
pitch that needs to be 20 seconds or less in the pitch, and then make it into a thing, and then go.
I like it. Print it.
Take that to the bank.
But you should watch Comic Tropes. He did one about like Shazam, like the 40s Shazam, and
Back when he was Captain Marvel.
right, Captain Marvel comics, yeah, and he some shit where it's like he has to like go to court against like a caterpillar or some shit. Yeah. Like this is what I mean. Like comics were fucking wacky, you know, like fucking the 70s, like Miss Marvel. It's like, oh, I gotta make a water
has
pill.
to go to court with a caterpillar.
Like literally, they just like it's that whole dildo meme. Like, what are they gonna do next week with the Superman or you know Batman or whoever? Wonder
Batman
Woman.
invents a chewing gum that prevents Superman from opening his mouth, so therefore he can't tell everybody that he's got gum in his mouth, and then he accidentally fucking kill. I don't know. Just, he's got to tell Lois something, but he can't because he's got the gum.
Right.
So
This stuff has like no
find out what happens
continuity.
next week.
It has no continuity, and then it's like also propagandist because they're gonna be like, yeah, buy war bonds to fight the Nazis. You know, or he'd like punch Tojo and be like, take that, you Jap scum. Like classic America. I love
I've got Jap on my shoes.
it. Oh wow. But yeah, Gunn, who's done the Guardian of the Galaxy films, The Suicide Squad, and even good directors make duds. Peacemaker, trash. Directing from a screenplay based on the DC characters. Superman was created by some Jews. The film is being produced by Saffron, probably a Jew. Superman Legacy. I'm gonna laugh like James Gunn is also of the Chosen. It's like Gunovitz or something. Like, God damn it! I thought he's a white man.
You must have some Jewsian
I thought he's a
ancestry.
goddamn honest wasp. Like,
You must have some Jewsian ancestry.
let me check the chat. Wait, don't be a doomer and try to pop my bubble. Oh, me. I guess he's meaning because
He
I'm like,
has hope.
let Papa. Only in this day and age can we be threatened with movies. Wait, who's hotter than Margot Kidder? Oh, dude, yeah, Lois in fucking 78 Superman. What a dog. Ugly. Unions are good in theory. Yeah, I tried to follow season 2, like the first episode. I'm like, God, this is way too fucking much. But the Corona creators is Nolan's like brother, Chris Nolan. Those guys are very cerebral. So, like, they worked with I think Rockstar Games to like try to like understand NPCs and stuff like programming and stuff to make Westworld like, in theory, like understand like the range what they could be doing with this world. So it's a lot of thought. I appreciate the work they put in. I will finish Westworld at some point. Everything's susceptible to corruption, and unions are a perfect example of that. Yeah, unions were good at one time, Karen says. Now they too are all about the money. What is the average house price? So I live in I rent 800, give or take 850 square foot house with a fairly decent yard, and like a shed that kind of matches the house. I pay like 800 a month rent now, and which is low. I should probably be paying $1,000 for this rent, given the market or more. But yeah, there's a house about my same size, 2 doors down, and they're trying to sell it for like 170. I looked up. And it's like, this house is maybe worth like between like 80 and 125, but because this like inflated market, it's probably this could go for like 150 to 100,000, and it shouldn't. And I mean, I like this house, but it's just like shaped oddly, the way like the layout is of the rooms. It's all squared, so I can't like properly put furniture satisfyingly. And, like
triangle tables or something.
I've had to like work in this like display and whatnot, because before I was in that corner, because it's like I got door, window, door, so I can't just have like a straight full wall to myself for YouTubing without something on like a window or a door. And so yeah, and then like I can't have an L-shaped couch in my house unless I put it in like one spot, because otherwise it would just couldn't have people, if they came in the house, couldn't watch TV, for like a game or something. So it's just an odd. I can't wait to get out of this at some point. Things get better. Yeah. Laszlo says I kind of like Peacemaker, even though John Cena comes off as kind of a douche. I watched the first episode. I'm like, I love the Suicide Squad. Like, it's just like, oh man, like this is so nice and refreshing. Like Polka Dot Man, who's literally like a trash character from DC, Batman's Rogue Gallery, Forgotten. And he's like, oh, I can do anything I want with this throwaway character. Let me actually make him a character. And it's like, God, this is great. Because it's like a random character like that. You're like, whoa, what's the backstory in the comics? And it's like, nothing. He's got polka dots. Like,
that explode from another dimension.
Right, yeah. And then you get like acid dots or whatever, and he's got mommy issues and stuff. Like, fuck. How inventive.
He sees everybody as his mom.
Yeah, like that is amazing and hilarious. And like when you get that reveal, it adds so much dimensions to the film of like what was going on in this guy's head this whole time up to this point. Like, like what is King? Did they show King Shark as like his mom? Yeah, because Starro looks like his mom.
Yeah, she was like following a butterfly too with the look.
I'm trying to think now. The Wait, that is great rent for a house. You cannot rent a house in my city for under $2,500 monthly. But you
Wow.
live in communist Canada, so. Guilty pleasure. I do the Peacemaker intro dance sequence when I'm absolutely sure there's no one around. Oh my god. Please leave my chat. Never return. No, that's fine, man. I don't know if you were here last week, but I love making songs that parody both the song I'm singing, but the lyrics are always related somehow to the guy that got crushed at my job last year. I laugh because it wasn't like, oh, what a whoops, a forklift ran into him, whoops. It was like, he was just a fucking retard for a second.
It's like when the computer prompts you, are you sure you want to close out? Yes. Are you sure you want to close out?
Are you sure you want to destroy all of your data?
Are you sure you want to delete everything? Yep. Okay. No.
Yeah, it was just like, for whatever reason, I'm wondering if this is a suicide, honestly, but for whatever reason, he's like, oh, let me put my whole body in this hydraulic press to reach for a tape gun. I'll make it. Like, the idea, like, I'm just thinking, he's like, I got it. And it's like, he didn't get it,
This isn't real. I'm in a dream. Yep.
Yeah, kiss, tape gun. Yeah, love gun. Shit like that. It just change a word here there that's based on work or something to do with the dead guy, and it just makes it fucking hilarious. And it's like a joke to me and a friend. We're always like, dude, oh my god, this song, like, oh yeah, because it's a hydraulic press, so it pushes. So it's like, I love AC/DC, and somehow I've not made a single AC/DC parody yet. And then I'm like, dude, oh my god, she's got the push too much. Just changing the word from touch to push, like, it makes it fucking hilarious. Because it's like, you look at the machinery, it's like, oh, that's not fast. And it's like, all right, now think about putting your body in that for the time it like engages. And it's like, whoa, I would just wait 5 seconds, to compress, and then I'll go. And what an idiot! So that's why it's funny. I never really talked to the guy. I have no idea if he was like a good guy, right? He was fine. He definitely just punched in the clock and got out as soon as fucking possible. He was not like dedicated, just there to do like what was necessary for his paycheck. I respect that. But so nothing really stood out about the guy. But it's just like, fuck, that guy, he'd been here for a while. You knew the machine. So just it makes it all you can do is laugh, as No Country for Old Men would say.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it's all a man can do. But yeah, tape gun. I forgot I told Hoffel about that, and it's a joke with us. I got someone to watch The Big Lebowski. Gross. Why would you make someone? Was this a trick, Papa? Like, hey, yeah. It's totally a good movie. You're gonna love it.
I don't like The Big
Dog
Lebowski.
shit.
No,
John
thank
Goodman's
you.
hilarious in that, but what an awful fucking movie.
Thank you.
I crashed a forklift once. Luckily, I was uncertified, so the manager swept the whole incident under the rug. Yeah, forklifts are fun. Some faggot at work a year or two ago, a meth head, ironically, screwed me, a guy that loves writing a character on meth. He fucking ran his fork into like one of the like garage doors for our forklifts, and then also the actual like steel beam pillars. They're like squared solid. He fucking rammed a forklift into it, being an idiot. He almost dropped a paint tank on a guy. Luckily, he saw it slipping and jumped. I just saw out of the corner of my eye while I was doing my task. And then it's like, kunk, and it's like, oh, you could have killed Billy. And it's like, I like that guy. That would make me mad. Like, yeah, he had to do a piss test when he got it took him like 2 hours to like hammer the fork out of the pillar, and he was suspended until he did a piss test, and he just quit. Nothing to see here. Warehouse forklifts. Oh yeah, anyway, because of that faggot, they tuned down the forklifts to literally half the speed, so it makes our jobs harder because we have less time to like complete our task because half of it's just driving. It's not even a big warehouse. So that's annoying. Yeah, in Afghanistan, I actually drove a Bobcat. 'Cause I was, as a medic, they made me and the SF medic, they made a sanitation. So I had to pick up with the forklift, the Bobcat, this fucking cardboard thing and haul it to the dump and then get a four-wheeler or the actual fuel truck itself, the diesel truck, and drive through these narrow fucking like sand box thing hallways. And with no one to like, I've never driven a semi related thing. And then it's like, oh yeah, you can just go drive that gas truck to the dump and hope like none of the perimeter Afghans are like terrorists and gonna shoot you. Like yeah, no one to like, all right, you're clear. Like, fuck man, that's so nerve-wracking driving a giant like big rig like that. Army fuel truck. So yeah, that was fun. But no, it also was cool because like I would get stuck, like I'd be asleep in between like my guard shifts, whatever, my free time, and then I get woken up. And like, hey, we need you to download this chopper. And so I'd have to get in the little Bobcat, and they'd have a Russian chopper that like it has like a bowl on the back of it that opens up like a clamshell, and the propeller's like right here. But you like are stuck having to like fucking shimmy right next to it to get any of the crates out of the back. And so it's just very nerve-wracking. You gotta be patient to offload a Russian chopper. Fun stuff.
You gotta be careful.
Those little wussy propane ones are for Bud Light drinkers. Hey, I can't help. Like I'm just employed by Bud Light drinkers. It's not that I'm a Bud Light drinker. I'm a wine drinker, my friend. Wine is for men.
Pour some wine into the Bud Light and they go, ew. Or
honestly, I was thinking about
go,
that. It's like, if no, for real. You know, it's like just give it a week of like fucking low carb, just focus on ingesting meat and like beans all the time. And you notice a difference. Go to Olive Garden after a week or two of like low carb, like besides like high fiber carbs, you know, just cut it all out. And then go to Olive Garden or get like a big waffle, and you will feel that like overload that what is normalized in America. You're like, oh god, fuck, what did I do to myself? Just give me fucking meat diet. Meat diet's pure. You're keeping your engine on premium, you know. And this is the problem with beer. Like this whole tranny's drinking my beer now. Like. Beer is tasty. This whole culture we got of, it's weekend, I'll slam a 30 rack. Hell yeah. Football, we gotta slam beers because that's manly. No, beer is fucking wheat or barley, whatever. It's estrogenic, and you're trying to overload on an estrogenic beverage. What the fuck are you doing? You don't hear about, man, you're really soyifying the male populace with wine. No, wine is like an age-old thing. You know, saints drink wine. The fucking Vikings drink wine.
Romans.
Greeks and Romans drank wine. The Egyptians, all these great fucking people. Beer was like, we'll make a little ale once. Oh man, let's slam some wine, bro. You know, we had gods of wine and harvest. And
they'd wash out
fucking manly.
They'd wash out the wine with some ale as backup. Like that's the not enough wine. Let's have some watered down ale.
Wow. Oh my god. The stunt Laszlo pulls with the forklift. That's hilarious. And get you fired. Send that video to corporate. See what they think about your little trick. But yeah, that is Superman we were talking about. Laszlo, if you want to come on, let me know. Sound like you're a fun guy, especially you're a friend of Hoff. Friend of Hoff is possibly a friend of mine. I'm open, at least. Friend of Rookie, I'm like, is it worth it? Friend of Hoff, you're already on a good track. But yeah, Rookie is very reluctant to read. He is a baby. And so hopefully the steak will nourish not just his body, but also his brain. Let's see if it's worked.
I gotta learn to weed.
Oh fuck! I was about to get out of
Close
this
out the
StreamYard.
stream. Yeah,
not
no.
close it, but I was about to shift away. I don't know what that would do to the stream, but it
No,
looked like I left.
if you like left the studio, it would just
No, I
things
was
don't
about
get
to
on.
I was on the StreamYard and I clicked the like address bar to like go to readcomics.com.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You'd probably leave the thing, but
And
it would
the stream would be
up.
going still. You're right.
You would just.
But anyway, so I had a chance to read a pirated copy of Isom. I'm very interested in it because it's a huge success in our sphere. It's the biggest I know ever indie comic thus far. Isom 2 is already over like 1.5 million or whatever. And like I like Eric July's channel. I mean, like I've talked about before, anarcho-capitalist, like it's so fucking cringe. It's, you know, like have a kid, Eric, and then like think about the role of like what society and government should be. You know, that like there should be some sort of like regular, you know, we have the Constitution and like the founding fathers made these documents and compromised and agreed upon them to govern ourselves. They're made to be like to make laws hard to ever enact, you know. So they've made a system that's hard to change itself. Like the people have to like all be in on it to make a real change that really is like a shift 180. And that was intentional. They didn't want a very like, you know, they've lived through tyranny, what a king says, you know, and he can rig who's in office of the legislative branches. So it's very thorough documents that were built on, and yeah, it can go awry and get corrupt, but you know, we have like that's in the Bible. Like to think that like a government is going to get corrupt, so we just why do it is retarded, because like it's in the Bible. Whether you believe in the Bible, I think it's a great example of like even the on earth organization dictated by God and his commands gets corrupt by man. You know, that should be like an evidentiary. If you're Christian, that should be evidentiary that like, well, man's system will definitely be flawed, but we got to work through it and do the best we can. And so I get irritated with that anarcho-capitalist shit because it's just, it seems so just writes everything off without any awareness of like, you can fancifully wish for this system because you have a system that has insulated you to have the freedom to think these thoughts and also say them. You know, there's a lot of baggage with his political views outside of like entertainment commentary. But I watch him. I was interested in his comic, but he had so much success. I'm like, man, I gotta be choosing my money. I'd rather invest in someone that needs the money versus like a huge success. Maybe one day I'll go back and get the comic. But so that was my mindset. And then I'm seeing all this bad stuff. Seeing the beef with like Vito and whatnot, and it's like Vito's funny as fuck. Great premise for a comic. And then I start reading this comic, this Isom. It's like, no, legitimately, aside from like his political arguments about art and politics and what July's doing, Vito's got a real point. Like, there's this whole like yes man simpage with Isom going on that is just like really cringe to be on our side of like Comicsgate, Fandom Menace, and adjacent, to be simping so hard for a bad fucking book. And it's not that like it's just complete dog shit, there's nowhere to go with it. It's just like to have 92, 96 pages and go where we went. It's like I felt like I was getting edged. I'm getting blue ball. It's like, ooh, what's it building to? What's it building to? And it's just, oh, nothing. He got his suit. Come back for more later. It's like, but it's also written as like a volume 2 or 3 of like a pre-existing story. So you have no idea what this guy did, you know? And it's just, I think it's a really bad place to start, to not have like, you should start what will be a prequel, I guess, if he ever does it. So we're going to be looking at some of this later, but it's funny because I just started reading a random comic. I'm trying to get Ricky to read it. Really good. We're going to go through it and look at this. Let me say hi to the chat again.
I've only read like 15 pages of the book so far, so I don't have much to say on it yet.
Anarchy is self-defeating. You've read the first like 15 pages that I saw. We got a kick out of it.
That's what I just said.
For not for good reasons.
Well, Well, in general, I'm not like a huge comic reader.
That
but
doesn't matter.
But I
No,
like to
no, no.
support
No,
people
no,
in the
no.
sphere anyway.
You don't have to quantify like, well, I don't read comics, so I don't know how valid my opinion is.
I'm not saying
That's how it sounds.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm
That's how
saying
it sounds, though.
the way you're. It's like in general, I'm a slog reader. Like I'm not a like I get a
Right, but
book
we're
and I'm
movie
gonna read
guys.
it right away.
First and foremost, we're movie guys, and we've watched enough, and we've
like we're about to read a comic right now because I wasn't going to read it myself.
right, which is fucking annoying.
So.
It's 22
it's like,
pages.
Huge...
It's like half of it's art. It's not a lot of reading. That's why I get frustrated. Like, it's fucking easy. And it's not even like a wordy comic. It's all like pertinent. So this is like a almost 10-year-old comic. I found it at the comic store, got the first volume to try out, and I was reading on my phone at work. And fuck, man, this is really good stuff so far. I'm very anxious to see where it goes. And like this is what I'm saying, and what you'll see, and I'll kind of talk about Isom and what it is. It like again, a standard comic's 22 pages of story, and then like the covers and bookend. It's like a 92 or 96 page comic, almost 100 pages. That's like give or take 4 issues of a standard comic. You can get a lot of progression in like formulated Marvel or DC comics for 22 pages an issue. 4 issues could tell you like an opening story arc to like set up the character.
True, but it's like EBS's Cyberfrog goes like 40 something pages.
Right.
Too,
but you could truncate
good.
That story and get all the pertinent plot points in 22 pages. He has like you know, the value of an indie comic is indulgence. All right. Where it's like, yeah, I could tell the story in 22 pages, but let me like really thoroughly tell you, give you a real bang for your buck of artwork and whatnot. Let me just not rush it, you know. That's the value. Because like standard 22 page comic is like, all right, it's cool format to have to like, you got bookends they have to work within. Cool. But at the same time, because it's like serialized, it's like, oh, next month or every 2 weeks an issue. It's
would you acquaint this to like if you're like for movies, like if you're like this is the first movie a director's gonna make and it's a 3-hour movie compared to starting with like an hour and a half or something? Is that kind of
I think time limits or a limitation makes you have to be creative. Like Star Wars, if George Lucas had the billions to make the first Star Wars, it would not be, I think, as endearing and captivating if he didn't have to figure out shit. Him and his, you know, what became Lucasfilm would not have to figure things out. Jaws, like the broad appeal of Jaws for the fans that love Jaws, I don't, but I get it. It really relies on that shark not working, and so they had to film around it. That's why because it's like they're trying to compensate for a defective prop, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I think that's another big problem is like, well, and that's why I love Chris Nolan is because even when his films aren't like Dark Knight, like top caliber, Inception, whatever, this guy is really trying to deliver an experience, and he's trying to do it with physical reality. CGI is a last resort for this guy. It's not the first option. Oh, we'll just CGI that, and you know, like that's not how he's game planning a movie. He's game planning how can I make this look real. Apparently, he somehow has recreated visually, realistically, the explosion of the A-bomb testing.
That'll be interesting to see.
So it's like on screen you're just gonna be like, okay, cool, a bomb blew up.
But yeah, the mechanics
like,
behind it is like
he actually like this is in film. This is not digitized after the fact. This is all in camera. And like those little details and work, like putting a limitation on yourself, I think can give you value. I think that's probably why the further we get into Marvel, the more it's just like, oh,
I think I agree, and I think
Transformers,
I agree in a way for the most part,
God, they have no limit. You know,
like
you fucking throw anything on screen.
I've had this conversation before. Like, you know, how long should movies try to aim to be? Because, like, you know, or should it be aimed for theater time or not? Or like, what's the most concise way? With my own stuff, like you remember the Rookie's Quest thing that I made, and those were like an hour each. The Rookie's Quest trilogy. Shut up.
heard
You know what I mean. And with the Fat Speedster that I made, short film that'll be
This
out
is like
in
some
August.
virgin incel content you're
Oh,
talking about.
shut up. Like each episode's like 15 minutes instead of an hour, like before. Like I'm condensing story stuff, I guess, into that. But I don't know. I sort of
Oh,
see it
hey,
coming.
Laszlo, how should I contact you to send you the link? I mean, I could just drop the link in the chat, but I'm trying to prevent that just in case there's trolls or, Isom yes men that
Well, usually there's
reply guys.
Yeah, there's also usually sometimes bots. At least when I stream, like there'd be fucking
Right.
bots all the time that come in, and it's like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Laszlo, send me, or you'll put, if you got Twitter, please put your contact at or whatever in the chat, and I'll hit you up and send you the link to join us as we digest this comic. Let me share it. I will be suffering pop-ups here and there. It is a pop-up heavy site, but it's free, so I really appreciate that. And I don't feel bad stealing comics, quote unquote, from Read Comics Online, because most of these comic writers and whatever love putting Antifa on their shit and saying like, oh, well, just steal stuff. Looting is the voice of the voiceless.
But not when you steal my things.
And it's like, oh, so I'm going to steal your comic.
No, you can't do it to me though.
Right. So I love the irony of stealing from commies. Oh yeah, this is the other thing I want to talk about. What a headline. Biden on affirmative action ruling, quote, this is not a normal court. And it's like, no, it's the Supreme Court.
Somebody said they're gonna say Biden on a frog.
Yeah, no. We'll see if we get there, but yeah, the Supreme Court has struck down affirmative action, which is like good. Now white people harmed by affirmative action need reparations.
Where's my $10?
This is the next phase.
Yep, Chaz was near my hood. Give me
under the
$10.
knee. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm just now looking at the Twitter, Stoney. If you're still here. Under the knee, counterfeit 20, drugs I took plenty, now I can't breathe. In the car I flopped around, I said put me on the ground, it's not much better, how worse could this get? Here comes the knee. That is hilarious. It's I'll show later. It's a fucking, I guess, Reddit or 4chan, 8chan posting, and someone memed the 90s cartoon Sebastian. They memed George Floyd's head to fit on Sebastian, given he sings Under the Sea. Riveting stuff, Stoney. Truly, it's funny as fuck. Do you have a Gmail? Me are here. Right. So what's your email, Laszlo? And I'll send you the link. But in the meantime, let me share this comic, Stray Bullets by David Lapham or Lapham. I don't know. It's PH, so it could go either way. Very excited. I always forget where the share button is. There we go. Boomer moment. I apologize. All right, here we go. So, Stray Bullets, number 1. And it's called The Look of Love. This is written, lettered, and drawn by David Lapham. So, car on a pier. There's a quote: "The future's uncertain, and the end is always near." Jim Morrison. I don't know if that's just a saying or if it's from a song. I'm a giant Doors fan. It starts in the summer of 97. Got a car and whoa! Broke a bottle. And gotta pull over. It's 2 a.m. Like, fuck. Go in the truck and get the spare. Grab the jack and tools. Joey. I'm going, Frank. Just make me nervous. That's all. Jesus, you act like you've never seen a body before. Gives me the shivers. Freak. And oh, yep, there you go. Next to the spare tools, there's a body.
Dun, dun, dun.
He's like, ugh, and thud drops the body on its head, and he's dragging it off. Hey, Joey, how you doing back there? He's like, taking another freebie. Smoke. Sorry, Frank. Hey, remember that guy we dumped last week? Hmm?
No,
His
I
face
don't.
was all
I don't remember.
His face was all screwed and stuff. Looked kind of funny. Listen, we've been doing this for a few years now. Don't start going flaky on me. We didn't kill her. Go get the damn tire. We're on a schedule here. I think I dated her in high school. Don't talk stupid. She's not even from around here. You never laid eyes on the bitch before today. Harry, shouldn't have done that. What the fuck is with you? She was Harry's girl. He can do whatever the hell he wants with her. Anyways, you should thank Harry for letting you have those freebies before he'd done it. Now, just shut up. Any more of those Slim Jims? Oh. Pee. Go. Go! Oh, thanks. Just go in the bushes. He wasn't retarded last week. And it's like, huh? And bam, the cops are here. Like, hi, thanks for stopping, officer. I think I got a handle on it. Let's get a nail or some glass. Have it fixed up in a jiff. And then, whoop, the light looks in the car. Sees some buds. Sees he's been possibly fornicating with a transgender woman by the looks of this evidence. I know what you're thinking. So he even gets defensive. I know. You think I was with Dylan Mulvaney last night, but actually, license registration. Sure. Me and a buddy got off late from work. We went up to the point to unwind. He got a little drunk, so I just dropped him home. So his wife wouldn't worry. And he's like, fuck a gun. Let me cover that up. And here you go. His car is still up there if you want to check. You didn't drink any of this beer? Well, to be honest, officer, I did have 2. But I'm fine. You can test me. Driving drunk ain't for me. I got too much to live for. Why don't you finish up with that spare? I'll be right back. Soon. All right, sir, you can go watch him with the alcohol, though. Next time, you'll be spending the night in the county lockup. Take it on home now. Just where I'm headed, right away. Yep. And then the cop sees tailgate. Ooh, blood smear. And he's about to double back on the guy. Bam! Don't look, you bastard. Blam, blam. Jesus Christ! You jerk. Joey! You saw. You saw. It's okay. You did the right thing. Let me get him in the trunk. 3 minutes later. I never shooted nobody before. Does that make me a bad person? Hell no. You sure? Because bad people don't deserve no love. I don't know about that, but I'll tell you this. My old man fought in the Korean conflict. Must have killed 100 of them slanty-eyed fuckers. They were a threat to every man, woman, and child in the United States of America. You believe me? Sure. He killed thousands of them. Them, their wives, their children, even their dogs. You know they eat their dogs over there, don't you? No. Yep, anyway, when he got home, they pinned a fucking medal on him. See what I'm saying? If that cop found the body, we've been caught. And that'd be really bad. There'd be a big ruckus. Lots of media coverage. Harry'd been in a lot of trouble. We'd be dead. The whole country would be in chaos. You were protecting the country, Joey. You see, I love this peculiar perspective trying to justify to a retarded guy his accomplice for his murder of a cop for the U.S., you know? See how fun this is? We're 10 pages in, rookie. And this is like, wow, what fucking character? We only got 12 to go. You enjoying this so far?
Not really.
What?
I don't know.
I mean, this isn't cape shit. This is just like kind of real world. It's
that's
like
fine.
This is fun.
No, I get it. It's I don't know. Just I feel like I've seen this type of scenario so many times. It's
Right.
just
Well, that's what I was
yeah,
telling you.
here's
This
another
this
one. I don't
this
know.
episode, this first book's like of Mice and Men, I guess, or Rain Man. I think they even reference Rain Man a bit. Yeah. This next panel. He's like, Harry Hot. No, looked at her like he did. Are you retarded? Are you? You sound like the goddamn Rain Man. Blah, blah, blah. You know what Harry would do if he heard you talk like that? He's been damn good to us. You're gonna like this though. You have to pee again. You go while she was looking. Then the cop came in. All right. Find a diner, the Royal Crown Diner restaurant. Hurry up, we're running out of time. Ding. Use your bathroom. Cool beans. Wow, look at those gas prices. $1.09? You see that?
That's ancient world, man.
$1.37. You wrote this. This is supposed to be a 97. So I guess depending where you're at, I want to say gas cylinder $1 when I was a kid in like 2001, before the tragedy of national concern from a certain era.
Right.
He's like, say, you sell Slim Jims? Hey man, fill her up check the oil, please. He's like, yeah. Thanks, man. Sure is a nice night. And Joey flushes. And they're like, let's check in on Monkey Boy. And he's just sitting there going. And they notice Joey. He's like, boom, boom, boom. He's like, you all right, honey? Can I get you something? And then he's like, oh no. Stop. Hello? I said, get your filthy hands off of her.
Damn dirty ape.
So then she said, I don't know what that means, but I'd rather just have sex. And he's like, holy shit. He's like, oh no. Blam, blam. He's like, no, Joey, no. And the guy's like, oh my. Wait. Blam. Oh, fuck. Wait. Oh, God, just stop it. Come on. Come on, Joey, calm down. Look at me. Just, let's get out of here. Blam, right to the fucking dome. Hurry, Frank. Let's peel out. Everything's safe. Joey, what are you thinking? What came over you? He was looking in the trunk. He was going to see. Joey. That was the other car. Beautiful. This is turning into one fabulous night. We are really, really screwed here. Just get in the damn car. But Frank, I gotta protect my girl. Boom! Holy. Get your hands in the air and move out in the open. I was a nam. I got no problem blowing your head clean off. Now come on out slowly. Okay. Just wait 1 second. Wait, nothing. I got a 12 gauge here. It says now. Boom! Get your asses out here where I can see them. That's fucking
Got them
shoulder
panties,
pepper.
boy.
He's like, oh, okay. He must. All right. So he shut the car. So he might think that the already dead body that is like his girl to him. He's like, oh, you shut her. Murderer. Click. Mother, and then blam. Holy Jesus was something. Wow. Come on, kid. Let's get the hell out of here. Hurry. Yo, Joey. There's a shotgun. And then blam. Kills them all. Someone's gasping. And poor Joey. Don't scare me like that. Whew. I'm sorry. I had to do it. They might have killed you. Sniff. Well, I suppose we couldn't leave witnesses. Hey, you're bleeding. It's okay. Fuck. Can't let Harry know about this. We're gonna have to get rid of the bodies. We'll never be free. Soon.
Trunk's quite not big enough.
Lord, I don't know. I don't know if we're all gonna fit. She'll sit with me. He's like, ready? Throws a cigarette. Here's he's let all the gas out to burn this fucking diner, which is like, why don't you just burn all the bodies? Whatever.
Shut up.
No, I'm not saying the comic stupid, but it's just like
you're
the guy's
fine. No.
stupid.
Yeah, I guess.
He's like, let's peel. Got all the fucking diner burning in the background. And bam! Feel really bad, Frank. I shouldn't have let it happen. That's not being a man. You're a man, Joey. You were protecting us. This was after. I think it was because I was an orphan. That's nice. Dad said he found me at McDonald's. Think I can ever get it back? Huh? Yeah, sure, whatever. I really need to think. Pass me one of those beers. About an hour goes by. We're gonna be just fine. All the evidence is right here in this car. We'll get rid of it. And oh yeah. Say, did I ever tell you about the Lord Shepherd? No. This is back when I was just a kid. The old neighborhood. Guy calls himself the Lord Shepherd. I think he's actually was some sort of missionary or something. He would talk to people, preach the gospel to them. Drug dealers, wife beaters, even normal folks like you and me. He used to go around getting people to cleanse themselves of sin. That's all you have to do, Ask Jesus for forgiveness. It's in our nature to sin. Real sorry. Boom. Straight to heaven. It's like an escape clause. Anyways, it's like these people start turning up dead. Shot right in the back of the head. So it's the shepherd, see? Killed 18 people. He saved them. That's what he said when they caught him. Saved their souls, so he had to send them off to heaven for they could sin again. Get it? It's all timing. If he would have killed me back then, I would have went to heaven. Harry finds out. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm not ready yet. I gotta be a man, Frank. I'm gonna have to say something to Harry. He shouldn't have heard it like he did. Are you fucking nuts, Harry? Here's about this. We're dead. Harry's and his boys are killers. We're just two working stiffs, just doing our job. So keep your mouth shut. Wouldn't say nothing. Another hour goes by. If you're going in the car, we're gonna push the whole thing off the pier. Take the bus back out to Oakland. I'll report my car stolen, and he was going to get married. He's like, what? I have to kill Harry. He killed my girl. He was going to be married. Where the hell did you get that idea? We were in love. You saw. We made love. She was going to have my baby. Come on, Joe. It's been a long night. Trust me. You've never seen this girl before tonight. She was not going to have your baby. You saw. He was watching. Listen, every time you do it with the girl, it doesn't mean she's going to have a baby. Like, haven't you ever fucked a girl before? Jesus, Joe. You never said anything. I could have gotten you laid years ago. When you get home, I'll take you to this place. You do that. That'd be cheating. Shit. I'm gonna die because you think you're in love with some dead bitch? Stupid. I'll show you. God damn it. We got a trunk full of dead bodies here, world. Frank, come here. You don't even know the whore's name. Harry's giving you a damn reward. Frank, letting you screw her? It was a joke. A joke, you fucking... Look at her. She's just a whore. Just a... Blam! Watch your mouth in front of her, Frank. Janice. Her name is Janice, Frank. I'm sorry, honey. I didn't know what love was. I was afraid it was going to laugh at me. I've been thinking a lot. A man should treat his girl like he was a princess. He should protect her and not let other people laugh and make fun of her and treat her bad. But I didn't know. Nobody told me. And now it's too late. Frank should have told me. He probably didn't know either. He treats his wife bad. I think guys don't know these things. Nah. Should go on TV and tell him. I'm sorry. And Jesus, forgive me. I'm so sorry. I should have loved you more good. He's like, goodbye, honey. I'll try better. Harry shouldn't have done it. I'll make him pay. You'll see. And that's it. There's fucking 27 pages, my bad, not 22. But yeah, I love the tone, the dialogue. It feels like real characters, you know. It feels like this feels like a scene in a Tarantino movie or something, you know. And I'm just like, wow, this is like the first issue of a comic, like 9 years ago, and it left an impression on me. And it told like, all right, kind of jumped in. We don't know Joey and Frank's backstory, but we do know they worked for this guy, and from Frank's perspective, this is the job. The reason I'm going through this is because Isom sucks, and any yes men saying otherwise, you can like it, but it's not good. Like it's looking very Snyder cutty to me, having read the book. How people are acting when anyone says anything bad. Yeah, it is an Image comic, Laszlo. I was looking at the other page, so I didn't see you or any of the chat. Let me make sure if you sent your more live comic readings like this. Yeah, dude. Oh, rookie, we got to catch up on that comic, the Asian comic. Remember, it was like, turn was about.
Was it like where he goes into like medieval times, sort of?
Right, he goes back
comes
to like
back and
feudal
forth.
Japan. Like he is.
He was like the white American.
He's
was
like
the
American. Yeah, I think it's called White American or something.
White
like
American
that.
or something. White American ninja or knight or something. I don't
White
remember.
American comic. Let's see if it pops up. There's a book called Unstable Mask: Whiteness and American Superheroes. The volume illustrates how the American comic superhero is fundamentally a figure of white power and white supremacy, and ultimately calls for diversity. This is from Ohio State Press. It's from their series in Race, Gender, and Sexuality in the Speculative.
I think we only read the one issue, I think.
Right. I'm trying to. Right. No, this just popped up on the search when I typed in white American comic book. Fuck, what was that book?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll think about it.
Comic book about Asian time travel. I see that he comes up in this. Search before we continue. I'm probably going to do like a full in-depth review of Isom slide to like illustrate what I'm talking about. But did you like the payoff, Ricky? Like he's fucking retarded and thought he's in love with like some whore that he was probably raping actually.
I mean, it did come off very Lenny-esque, and I don't know, the way you were reading it made that more entertaining, but overall, I don't know, it didn't seem to.
That's kind of how
really
it was in
grab
my
me.
head. So, it's not the good Asian. Well, I see. The problem is I can't remember if it's Dark Horse or Beast or Image. One of the two. I don't remember what stream that was. We read that in.
That was like over a year ago, I think.
I would have been posting about it on MethGator Twitter.
It would have been quite a while ago. I don't even remember who we had on for that one. So long ago. But
I'm gonna let me ask. Let me ask. What's his name? I'll tweet at Serial Whiskey.
Yeah, but I don't know. At some point, I'll do a full reading of Isom because I've only read 15 pages. First, I'll probably do like another. Because on the Fandom Collective channel, I'm trying to get some. I have like over 20, 30. I have like 30 or so crowdfunded comics that I haven't read yet, and I want to read some of these soon. Starting some of them, I got like Pirate Queen. I got Ace. I've got the Shadow of the Kraken, got Cyber Frog, got Isom. So those are ones I plan to read and review at some point on the Phantom Collective channel. Our Phantom Collective Twitter, by the way, is suspended at the moment. Account is suspended for no fucking reason. Says, oh, we broke the rules. Oh, what rules? We're not telling you. So submitted an appeal, and we'll see if that gets that back up to normal. But not sure if so. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Cool Beans. You know, it's funny because I know Cool Beans from Hot Rod. If you've seen that movie Hot Rod, then and you like it, then we can be friends.
I have not seen it, so nope.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. It just when it's written well, it's easy to kind of like embody. So what is your problem with this comic, Ricky? I'm trying to understand. Like,
it's not that I don't really have a problem. It's just I wasn't engaged with it. I didn't really care what was going on. It just seemed like, yeah, this is you got the bodies and it's, shenanigans of, just dealing with the next thing that happens. I don't know. It's just type of scenario that I don't really find that. I don't know.
Laszlo,
I've seen that kind of thing a lot.
I can't show Stony McInternet Douche's work on a stream. I'd have to go maybe Rumble, but I don't know. This is a problem with the echo chamber. Like, we're gonna make our alternative platform bullshit because it's like, oh, I'm Gab. I'm the alternative. I'm a real free speech. No porn, no nudity, no. And it's like, then you're really not free speech because porn is art. It's adult art, and on a adult platform.
Did you like the Robot Chicken Squidward thing?
Yeah, that's amazing. I love it.
I'm gonna be a big star.
That's hilarious. Like, I would never think to do that unless I was just maybe if I was like, commissioning or myself trying to draw like hentai tentacle shit, or like making like Rule 34 SpongeBob shit, then like maybe eventually like that would dawn on it. Oh, he's an octopus, Squidward. So if you don't know, Squidward, yeah, his name's Squidward, but he's an octopus. Yes, I know he has 6 tentacles in the show. He's an octopus. I used to have a SpongeBob magazine, and it was like about like the whole back stuff and just random tidbits about SpongeBob and origin and stuff. And it's like, yeah, Squidward's actually an octopus, but they couldn't figure out an octopus name, so that's where, yeah. Just a fun dumb factoid about that. Maybe they changed it after the fact, and it's just, oh no, he is a squid. But as far as I know from that reading, he's an octopus.
Mm-hmm. Well, Octopussy was already taken, so you had to do another one.
Yeah, I'd be banned. Yeah, Hot Rod, man, that's a near and dear movie to me. Cool beans, so to say. Right, you still haven't told me your email, so I could send you the a road soda. That's actually fucking nice. Yeah, I like getting off work, pulling like midway from work to home, going to the gas station and grabbing me like a 24-ounce beer. But I'm trying to just cut beer out, I mean, I don't drink a lot of beer in the first place, but gotta stick with the wine, my friend. Mm-hmm. But no, God, fuck. What was that comic? All right, let me tweet at Sierra.
We're not likely gonna find that out.
No. I know that, but I don't want to forget to tweet this to him, so he might get back to me.
Yeah, if we were going with the other comic, if we were going like commenting on it as each page or something, I could probably give you a better idea of what I didn't really like. But
right, I'm waiting to hear it.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
That's what I said. That's what I said. If we were going page by page, I could give you more, like an explanation. I just heard it the first time. I
Wait,
don't
you weren't looking
know
at
off
it?
the
I
top
was
of my head.
showing it.
Yes, but I don't like that was how many pages? I don't like I can't
27.
just I don't remember every single page off the top of my head as we went. It's like, like if you're gonna
Okay.
comment on something in a video, it's like, well, is it easier to listen to the whole video and then think about what you're gonna say or
Sure.
go
Okay.
panel by panel? So like I
Alright,
think
so here.
at the beginning, like I thought some of their dialogue was kind of stupid at the beginning. It's like, we've been doing this for so long. Don't get flaky on me now. Like that type of thing is just like a completely expositional type of stuff that I just kind of get annoyed with in general with a lot of things. Like I gotta let the audience know that we've been doing this for a long time, and this is how I'm going to say it by saying it. And I just would rather they try to come up with a more creative way to say that. But if this is an older comic, then that's fine, I guess. But just like nowadays, like I'd rather there be more clever setup to dialogue in general with stuff than just going, don't get flaky on me now. Like what was the purpose of that? If this is their day to day?
Well, it seems. Well, okay. The reveal through the book is that like he's emotionally attached to this because he fucked her, and he thinks fucking means like you're gonna have my baby, and we're in love. So you understand this is like a child, essentially. Mentally, this is a child. So, but that's kind of like a reveal payoff. So, you're learning like through the book, like how retarded this guy is. And so that's why you'd have like, hey, this is a day to day. As far as Frank's concerned, this is just another day. I'm like, oh man, Harry, he's got a dead body for it. We got to go haul this dead body, Joey. I don't see. I mean, I could see like, I don't just on the base level, I don't see the problem of, it's classic trope of like, hey, audience, here's a way for us to let you know this is normal for us. I mean,
like,
you watch
to me, it'd be
Pulp
normal.
Fiction.
To me, it'd be more normal if they didn't address that they've done it for a long time. It's like, well, yeah, you'd just be doing it. Like, I don't need to know how long.
Right, but that reinforces like this is common job for them, and so in Frank's view, like, wait, why are you acting weird now? Like this is no different. That's kind of like that gets you in when you're getting analytical. This gets you in the head in a simple sentence. Gets you in the head of like, all right, this is standard shit for Frank, and then the reveal of why it's weird, why it's going awry through Joey.
I feel like that kind of thing still could have been revealed later without blatantly saying it. Like when the guy shot at the car and then he's like, reacting that way. It's like, okay, why are you reacting that way, dude? Like that would be something that brings on the question that's better. It's kind of like how, like I don't think that you must in the first thing say what your job is. But I think that those are typically better, but you don't need to do
that. Okay. Tying this in with Isom. All right. So if you watch previous stream or two, I talk about this is nothing I've ever really thought about. It's like I purposely have thought about what does Meth Gator and his surrogate father Curtis the Coon do for work, because it was like, all right, like what are the parameters of Meth Gator? Is he a secret? But like, all right, so he's going to be humanoid and live like day to day, kind of normal, like everyone else, so you can more relate to him. What is that? Because like at first, like, all right, he's in the swamp, so he's an alligator, man. He's a morphed alligator, so he could just instinctually eat fish and turtles and shit and snakes and deer, whatever comes up by the water. I could just make him an alligator. But then, like, if he's feral, how would he have ever socialized? How would he know English in Georgia? So I need to like personify him, and it's like, all right, well, what can I do to make him interact in society to some extent, have some culture, but he's still like on the fringes? And it's like, all right, well, him and Curtis could be moonshiners, and that'd be a tip of the hat to Dukes of Hazzard, a white trash Georgia entertainment that would like feel familiar, be a nice little homage to something that's like related in a way, something more lighthearted for a more serious comic actually. And it's like, all right, well, Moonshine, it's like he's got all the freedom in the world as long as he's like making deliveries on time for whatever's ordered. Like they could live fine making quality moonshine. And then it's like, so it's like, it might be simple, but like I actually put like a series of thought into this character needs to have some, like when you read it, you're like, wait, is he just an alligator man? And he just goes to the grocery store, la-di-da, and no one's like, what the fuck is that? I gotta like figure this out. So it's like, yeah, he deals business, with a couple people, open secret in this town, but it's a small town. And if people heard this, they'd be like, oh man, it's kooks in that hick town in the swamps of Georgia. So it's not really going to spread to anybody of note. So like I've insulated this open secret idea. I think I put enough thought into it. All right. And so because of all this, it's like, oh, the character needs a job. And then this whole conversation with Rookie and Isom, it's like, fuck, I never thought about this till now. But it's like every story is about someone's job or getting a job, or they don't have a job. Like they have a role, even if you're more abstract in like a role in society is your job, And Isom, I read the whole book, Rookie, and they address the job sort of, and it's really bad so far. It got Isom 2 and so on. It could go somewhere, but I think he was that's an element that I'm kind of right about, that it's fucking retarded that he's a rancher, but like there's a moment in the book when they cut away back to the ranch, the white guy that's like, I guess his main farmhand running the ship, his second in command. I don't remember if he ever says his fucking name. But he like has like new hired hands on, and one was a black kid. And he's like, hey, you stayed on longer in the day. I'm going to let you go so you can, rest up and enjoy your weekend, enjoy your day, whatever, and stuff. And he says something about like, oh, those people in Floor Spark and whatnot. They don't know what it's like to work day in and day out and, actually harvest something from the land. They won't get the value of it, but we do. Our kind of people do. So it's like, that should be something that Isom says, or that Isom, when he's talking to the guy, like, hey, how's that new hire doing? Like, oh, you know what? I think he's kind of one of our people. I think he gets it. I think he's invested. He appreciates it. He enjoys the hard work and the labor. Like, there needs to be some tie to Isom so we understand Isom's worldview and not a third party in the story's worldview, like, so yeah, Isom never directly addresses the ranch life so far. It's you get the ranch investment from a white guy, his hired help, that talks to lower hired help. It's where it'd be like, oh, I want to learn about Elon Musk and his worldview, or Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates, and it's like, well, here is like his secretary, and here's their interaction with a lower underling. And it's like, what? I never heard Elon Musk worldview. Like, you see what I mean? We were trying to learn and invest in the Isom character, and this is one element that like you'd have an easy way to like, oh, okay, so he's a rancher, so he values the land and earning his keep the hard way. This could reinforce the libertarian bullshit of Eric July, and it's a missed opportunity in various ways, like I just stated. So in this book, 27 pages, right away, it's like, oh, you act like you never seen a body. Like, don't freak out on me now. This is normal, And it's like, haha, these guys work for bad guys, and they're the janitors for the crew. They take care of the dead bodies. It's like pretty fucking clear. You get so going forward, I can gauge like, well, that's fucking ridiculous that they would do this plot, or, oh, it makes total sense that they would get in the shenanigan. That's the value of a fucking job in a story.
Yeah, I never disagreed that that's valuable, but I still stand that in some stories you don't need to know that as important. It's not as big a deal.
No, you see what I mean though. Like, I know you're not that far in the comic of Isom, but like that was a big problem.
Based on what you said, it would probably flow better if it comes from Isom like starting the conversation, and then it feels more natural, probably.
Yeah.
Because so far there's only been like one part that I remember in the first 15 pages where there's like a line of dialogue from like Darian or one of the characters.
Garen.
It's just like he just starts saying all this stuff, and it's like, what led into this conversation? It just started, and there's no back and forth. It's just like a whole thing. Like he was ready to talk about this, and it's like, I don't know, that could have felt more natural, maybe, but.
This is Stray Bullets again by David Lapham. I'll put the link in the chat. I don't know if you'll be able to click on it or not, but this is good. And I read issue 2. So this first book takes place in 1997, and the next book takes place in like 77 into like, I think the third book starts in like 1980. I haven't read issue 3. I'm saying book, but it's like issue. It's a 41 issue story. I'm thinking this is kind of an anthology connected series. I don't know how. It was a random pickup, and these first 2 issues, I'm like, wow, what vibrant life. I'm loving it. And so I just figured like this is a new story read for me. And I'll kind of compare it to like the experience of Isom. It's like, no, like the thing with Isom is there's an internal dialogue. There's a tone you get from Isom where it's like, all right. Like he's like, he even says like, oh fuck, I gotta do this. Like detective, I'm no fucking detective, man. I'm not I gotta do this stuff. I could. He's kind of like saying that he could foil himself. He's not really up to like this particular challenge. So it's like he's crossing new territory. But I think it's fine if you're starting later than like a kind of origin story, and you're going to go back to that later. But I think a lot of the problems of this book is that it's just it hits the ground running with the idea of like, this is an established character, and it's like, but what is Isom? Like the whole book hinges on the big reveal of like, I got my suit back, and my suit gives me fall protection, and it's like, oh cool, but like what? How are you? You're an except, so it's like sort of like a mutant, I guess, or a metahuman, whatever distinction we go with. It's like these are the super people are called excepts, like exceptional. Yeah, that's the big like end page splash. Woo! Isom #1. It's just I got my suit, and it's like you haven't earned this like woohoo, because if it was Spider-Man, not even talking about like the original comics or whatever, but just like the idea of Spider-Man, this is a couple issues in to actually get the like origin, and then the trial and error, and then bam, my suit. You see in the first Spider-Man movie where it's like he's a kid, you understand his kind of place in the world, his self-image, who his friend is, who his love interest is, and he's a science devoted mind, gets bitten by a radioactive spider, notices changes to his body, wants to utilize it to make money, to impress a girl, get a car, and goes to the trial and error of like making a suit, makes a like kind of a sham wrestler sweatpants suit, and Uncle Ben, the killer, and he kind of figures out his direction in life with this new power, kind of forsakes the trivial normal man problems. They're still pertinent, they still complicate his life, but he's on a higher plane now, and he gets the suit, and that's like, wow, this is the Spider-Man suit. It's pristine, and this is an image to match the like appeal of the character. And it's like you're telling this drab fucking like character, it's like, I quit being a superhero because I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if his sister wants me to find this stupid fucking girl tied to some hoodlum high school friend that runs a club that might be like sex trafficking women. It's like, I don't give a shit, but I'm troubled by the thought of Miss Newman, the girl's mother, or grandma, whatever, that is the inciting like thing, that seems to be the overarching kind of like reinforcing, like, I guess I'm going to do this because I don't want to, tarnish the memory of Mrs. Newman or, come under her idealistic scorn. It's like, and then I'm like, whoa, Isom, look at my suit. It's new and improved. It's like, well, what was the first suit? Like,
Well, was getting the suit and like tied to the plot in
that's
some way
like
throughout it?
like the end payoff is like, he's got the suit.
Well, no, I mean, like, was like an enemy holding it, or
No, it was a former tailor that like the dialogue sounds like, oh yeah, you're Isom. Oh, yeah, I have your suit. Okay, yeah. Don't try anything because like this place will get locked down and I'll fucking kill you. And it's just like unnecessarily aggressive. And it's like, this is where you get the self-insert shit about, like, people will say, the people are negging on this book, I think justifiably so, that is a Eric July insert, self-insert. I really see, you watch his videos and then read this comic, it's a fucking self-insert. Like, every character.
So far, the only thing that I probably
like,
agree with is when he says, "You're on one," and I was like, "What?" And then you're like, "You must be smoking crack," and I'm like, "Oh, that's what he says all the time." So, but yeah, I don't know yet.
Oh shit! I never sent the link. Sorry, I put it in the thing, but I never clicked send. So that's the comic. Stray Bullets.
Karen made cookies.
Yeah, Laszlo says, I want to get into this. Papa says, I've never really been much of a fan. July just seems like a blowhard that likes to hear himself talk. Yeah, you could say that. He seems like the type of guy that makes his house guests watch playlists of his video. He does what he does. I give July respect for what he does, even if it sounds like a bit of an egoist. Oh, yeah, I think he's really high on himself. I don't know, if you're trying to make a work of art, you should be like, see, that's the thing with EVS. Say what you want about the guy and like the pomp and whatnot that he exudes as, the pie lord of comic skate. When you actually talk about like when he's like, you really feel the heart of EVS sometimes in his streams when he's not like really, playing it up for the fans about whatever thing, mocking whatever wokeness or whatever. You can really hear his effort and heart. It's like, man, I hope you really like this book. I've worked really hard on it. Like, I want this to do well. I want to like leave a legacy in my art form that I'm devoted to. And so, like, that's the thing is like, yeah, there's a lot of like yes men simps for EVS because people want like to be in his good grace. If they make something, they want to be remembered as like, oh, yeah, I was nice to Ethan, so he's gonna scratch my back someday. That's definitely, there's a lot of parasites with these successful people. But with EVS, like, there's real proof in the pudding of his work. And there's like obviously a lot of self-doubt because he's never really written shit. Like, he's helped write stuff behind the scenes that the writer, really tightens up and helped like make the comics. But he's just been the artist for the most part. And so there's justifiable self-doubt, and so there comes humility.
Well, and he does seem to have a cinematic eye for comic books, which is
he's an
probably
artist.
probably not as common. Well, I mean, like he likes to think of it in the presentation of a movie. He said so before anyway, and that's how I felt reading at least the first chapter of Cyberfrog. Felt very like a movie, Credits coming in, Shelson lands and stuff.
Yeah.
The way that was going.
Let's see. Ooh, wait. Cheesecake with coffee. I do love cheesecake. I don't know actually. Honestly, water, because it's so like, I like milk for dinner, like as a drink, or like tea or water. But yeah, honestly, just plain water with cheesecake, because I don't want to double up milk products. And I don't want to like have soda because that's fucking more sugar.
Delicious.
No, it's just doubling up on sugar.
Yeah.
And so maybe tea or water, just so there's not really a taste conflict, That would be my go-to. Coffee, I guess, sort of could work. I was thinking of making like a maple bacon cheesecake. Because I was looking up a recipe for maple cheesecake, and I'm like, that sounds awesome. Never tried it, but it sounds awesome. Maple syrup's definitely a key ingredient, but I think it needs bacon bits sprinkled on it, like real bacon chopped up into bits sprinkled on that cheesecake. Stoney says the biggest problem with the anarchists is that they make the obviously false assumption that everyone else is as reasonable and restrained as. Yeah, it's a fucking. You could argue a right-leaning utopia, like communism is leftist utopia. Of it's just everyone's free and happy, no one works, and we're all covered. We're all paid the same, and everyone's happy. Yeah. Yeah. No, EBS can be a douchebag, sure, but like he's kind of self-aware. He likes to be like shock jock and whatnot wherever he can. He likes to poke the bear of libtards and whatnot. But no, I think he's got a real sense of humility with his craft. And honestly, the best comparison I can give you of Eric July is fucking Ryan Johnson. What I see of like the streams and clap back at his haters or whatever is like, first of all, you're like the most miserable millionaire I've seen. Like the success you're having for like being untested and really just because you've made a fan base on YouTube, it's music and your commentary, unrelated to like anything about working comics. Actually, this is a fucking ginormous success, untested. And second book, you're showing you got like a stay power, at least with your fan base. You seem fucking miserable, and you're so defiant to accept any criticism. And he's like, "Oh no, I don't think any of the criticism was valid." And it's like, I don't know, man. Talked to Vinny Hart about McFarlane. Yeah, I don't know. I like Vinny. I think maybe he's been jaded a bit, so he does have insight clearly that I don't, but at the same time, it seems like maybe he's walked away from that on bad terms, perhaps. This is the tone I get. I don't know the full story. But McFarlane's got his value regardless of how douchey he might be or not. And yeah, I think McFarlane, like once you get to like success like that, you definitely kind of get your head in the clouds. You're on a new level, so. But that's the difference. I think, look at the success of EVS and his constant kind of self-doubt and like, hey, I'm working at this. I've been trying to make this perfect and I see something like, damn it, why'd I do that? But you got to put it out at some point. So, there's an acceptance of the errors, and the fact that he even says that, it's like, that gives me a vote of confidence. Like Cyberfrog 2, I think is a big downgrade to the story of Cyberfrog 1. But yeah. Anyway, sorry, Ricky. Yeah, interject, man.
No, you're good. I don't know. Yeah, I've yet to read Cyberfrog 2 yet, but that is on my list to do soon as well. With most of my channel stuff, so I've been working on a lot of videos to post later on my channel. Those are just about done. I powered through yesterday, working like all day on stuff, and got quite a bit done. And today I spent all day like making pictures for reactions to put on thumbnails and whatnot, and then I'll be able to work on more stuff, and part of that will be reading comic books, actually. So gonna have a lot to do, and I plan to make a lot of videos, and I want to be critical. That's the thing too. Like, yeah, I won't treat it any different than I do like a movie review. It's like there's little things or big things I'm gonna comment on. Gonna comment on them as best I can. So that is what shall happen. But oh yeah.
Yeah, give me 1 second to grab my snuff, and we'll continue.
Karen says, we do poutine here in Canada. I never had chili cheese fries. Poutine. Yeah, I've heard of that only from South Park, to be honest. The poutine. Todd lives across the river from me. I just know him as a friendly neighbor, and that way is hi. That's cool. Popcorn says, I have a cop across the street from me. Of course you do. Of course. Poutine is one of the only things Canada does right. That's good shit. That shit is good. Okay. Don't know if I'll try that, to be honest, but I do like french fries in general, so.
Sorry.
That's all right.
You had a cop across the street.
He said that Todd lives across from him.
That'd be fucking cool to hang out with Todd McFarlane. Wait, It's either in California or Canada. I know he's from Canada. We do poutine, Canada. Wait, how have you never had chili cheese fries? Jesus Christ. See, again, like I was saying earlier, Rookie, like when I hear this stuff from you about food, I'm like, you know, what charity
You think
can I
there's a
donate
cult-
to help
Airdrop
the
to my house.
underprivileged Americans, mostly white, with bad taste and lack of experience?
Maybe that's a business you could start, Angus. Where
Please help these. Yeah, I mean, I'll
these
partner with like
tasteless white folk.
I'll like make a conglomeration where like definitely Popeyes will be one of the companies that like their food products are part of like a care package.
Help America discover flavor again. Make white people's taste buds good again.
Yeah, I've heard this thing. It's like a comedy bit. Might have been like Joe Rogan showing it or something. It's like he was saying how like, you know, yeah, America's great and stuff and freedom, but like, you know, he's saying like the most like oppressive countries have like the best food and cuisine. It's like because they keep their women in the kitchen, you know, where they belong. So the food's fucking great. And he's like, you know, no one wants fucking Canadian cuisine. Oh, I want some, you know, this and that. And he's like kind of talking about all these countries that seem freer and whatnot. It's like, yeah, you don't care about their cuisine, but like, ooh, you know, oh, it's exotic. It's like, yeah, because their women are fucking kept in the jobs and in the kitchen and stuff. And it's like, that's actually very, I appreciate this comedic take and perspective. Because it's kind of honestly true. And it's like they're, you know, the commentary around it was talking about like, yeah, there's something more valuable about cultures that are quote unquote oppressive and non-inclusive. But yeah. What poutini's like? What, like?
I think it's like gravy and fries.
Gravy
or
on
something.
noodles or something?
I thought it was gravy on fries, but
oh, that doesn't sound crazy. But it's just like,
I don't know.
Have you heard of a thing called ketchup?
All I literally know is in South Park, well, in the Crack Baby episode,
Crack baby.
Cartman gets a pool of gravy and French fries, and he's like, "The French call this poutine." And that's all I know.
Oh my god! Wait, Laszlo, I thought you said you work with Hoffs. Are you in like the Columbus area? Or are you in Canada, or are you formerly Canadian? Dude, cheese curds. Oh my god, cheese curds. I lived up in New York for a while, and like by Canada is fuck. The North, like, you know, Wisconsin and New York, like goddamn, the cheese curds in that like border Canada states, fuck, they make some good cheese curds. I'll give them that. Anyway, yeah, I'm really negative about Isom, and I definitely get the sentiment from Vito. There might be just like legitimate, like, fuck, that guy made this much for a shitty fucking book. Like, yeah, there might legitimately be that as well that you can piece out of like, oh, well, he's just jealous he made a lot more money than he's going to. But like, honestly, it's like, look at the effort. I think that's probably the thing is like artistic effort, and like Vito's not trying to make like a leftist or liberal book. He's just making like, I like comic books and I'm trying to be like inventive and wacky and you know, have something fresh. He's got a very Comicsgate trailer of like, man, the media, you got to run through the hoops and go through the ringer to be on their team, and you got to play ball, and we have a chance now as independents to say, fuck that, I'll do what I want. And so it's very Comicsgate spirit, Vito's book and initiative. So I don't know. Like I'm really excited actually. Like I'm legitimately excited for Super Killer. It sounds over the top, like cool, funnier than Deadpool. And there's endless possibilities because he's got, you know, a multiversal assassin, so he can literally just make up anything he wants with it. He can Doctor Who the shit out of that. I think Doctor Who as a concept for like this is amazing. Like that template of like, oh, I go to multiverses in different times. It's whatever. Can totally work with the template. But no, like reading Isom, it's like there's enough energy where it's like, okay, where's this going? Because he kind of feels like a jaded, fucking kind of hateful Luke Cage that's like kind of done with people, done with fucking society, done with wearing the cape, the suit. And I just, yeah, also the motivation doesn't make any sense for like, all right, now it's time for me to come out of retirement and be Isom again. It's like, I don't buy it. You just like,
based on what you said, I want there to be a scene where he's working on the farm now that you've mentioned.
exactly.
Now,
Do
I'm not
your
saying
job.
I'm not saying that it's needed, but based on what you
A
said,
black man needs to work the fields,
I
is what
mean,
you're saying.
well, like to show us that. I mean, I guess like if there's not that much else in the story that like shows why he's coming back into this show, you know, maybe he's kind of cool doing his work, but you know, he's more isolated, alone, whatever. I don't know. I'm assuming there's that throughout the story, there's something that happens that, you know, makes it like, okay, you know, I like doing the farm stuff, but you know, I can get back to that if I want. And I got to do more important things out here, though. I'm just kind of staying away from shit.
Oh my God, I found it, Ricky. I found it.
Like that.
White savior.
Oh, we would have gotten there eventually. We were pretty close with.
Oh yeah, sorry, continue.
But yeah, so like I don't know, like I'll have to read it and then see what I want to do. I mean, that's like a 90 pager, so like I might make a really long video.
Honestly,
when I go over it, or a couple of different ones, you know.
Well, like I think it's interesting. Unfortunately, I mean, there's a lot of yes men simpage or whatever, which is really cringe. Don't simp for men. Like, you're like, yeah, like look at the fan base of this Twitter guy, Perry. He's funny as fuck. He's always like showing the most ridiculous things. It's like usually pseudo gay shit. And he's like, me and my alpha male friends on the weekend. It's like very self-aware, stupid, you know. And there's like a fan base around this. It's like, because I guess he ran for an office in like Chicago area. So it's just, there's a lot of like everyman fun with that and like tongue-in-cheek humor. So it's like we're all kind of part of it. We're all building the legend of like stupidity. Not just like, yeah, that guy made lots of money and it means it's good. And it's like, but aren't you say people like crap on Avatar because like, well, it made the most money, but it sucks. And it's like, I mean, it wasn't trying to be high art in the sense of plot. It's simple. And yeah, like crap on Avatar because it's danceable, but it's like it's a coherent story. You understand the motivation. Jake Sully's horny for a native, and so he's a race traitor to his own people because he finds the value of the indigenous. And yeah, like makes perfect sense. And his villain, could do more. Yeah, you could definitely give more to like why is he so devoted to the human initiative of the military industrial complex. But it's very understandable trope. And so like it works on its own. It doesn't have to be explained. It could service to have more, but it works. And it's like, what is Darren? Like, it was just a bad guy who has a club, you know, and does some illicit shit. We don't even know what, you know, because they allude like, oh, maybe he's like trafficking women or prostituting them or something, but you don't get any clarity. And he just attacks like the security of the Merc Club and gets his ass kicked. And then doctor's like, whoa, he fell from that far? He's got to be an accept. And like, he doesn't wear a mask, so how the fuck do they not know who this guy is? If he was a famous superhero who showed his face.
Well,
like,
I was going to make a black joke, but
everybody should be like, hey, it's Isom. He's back in Floor Spark. Or Floor Spark, whatever the name is. Shit like that, you know. It doesn't seem like he's Superman, where it's like, oh, well, I'm idiot Clark Kent. I'm you know, not very confident, and I part my hair different. I wear glasses. You know, it's not just the glasses; it's this whole persona. You would never think he's Superman.
Is it implied that this was his hometown, or like where he did?
He used to be a superhero in this town. He goes to Taylorsville, the tailor shop, to get his suit back. He literally calls the tailor Taylorsville. And it's like a crappy version of the tailor in Invincible. where he's,
So
you know,
I would say, like, okay, this is a criticism I have across the board on anything that has things like this. That's like Transformium to me. That's what that sounds like. Taylorsville, like, yeah, that's on the nose and a place.
well, it's like a placeholder name. It's just like,
Yeah, that'd be what
I
I'd
gotta make
call
this
it in my
now.
draft,
Whatever.
and then I would probably retitle it something else later.
Right. It's like, all right, Meth Gator lives in the outskirts of the swamps outside of town. And then it's like, oh, you know what? I looked up, I did a little research. Like, is there this place, Georgia? And it's like, nope. And it's like, all right, he lives in the made up town called Whitmore, Georgia, which is a little Easter egg tip of the hat to the rookie critic.
Yeah. But it's like, you know, even on top of my head, it's like Super Threads or something. Like something else that, you know, it's not fully on the nose. It could be. It doesn't even have to do with superpowers. It's just, oh, these are like,
well, he's a black guy. He could be super fly, you know? Like that could be like, oh, this is you know, a more wizened black man. He started his company in the 70s and then like the pimping phase and the cool suits and shit, and he just kept up and he got into the superhero costume business as well, being a tailor. So Super Threads, and you could go any way with that, you know. You do like the Superfly blaxploitation films style because it's a black guy and he could be wizened. He's like, seems like he's 40, 50, whatever. So possibly, and that could have its own, you know, appeal of like alluding to like the Jeffersons, you know, because I think Jeffersons, he's like runs like dry cleaning businesses.
Yeah.
There'd be a lot of like little fun shit like that, and there's nothing like this whole this book reminds me of Alita Battle Angel, and everyone's like, fuck Captain Marvel, go see Alita, you know, the Alita challenge. This is what this feels like. This whole we're anti-woke, and it's like, that doesn't mean it's good, you know. Like, you can crap on these woke comics, but there's a structure in the woke comics still. It may not be as good as like a classic Spider-Man or Batman or Superman comic, where it's like, oh, we weren't trying to be political, we're just telling a story, you know. But when you're like, purposely, I'm apolitical, it's like apathy. Apolitical is political because because you feel politics has no correct option for you to invest in, or like today where it's like, well, I want to be apolitical to not offend anyone because I want to make money from everybody. So I'm apolitical. I'm open to everybody because I don't want to piss off anybody because I'll lose money one way or the other if I pick a side in a topic, you know. That is still kind of political. Like, it's a politically motivated viewpoint, even if you don't realize it. Your apathy, if you're apathetic about your government, it's because you have the luxury of being in a country where you can go about your business being apathetic to your government. So that's still inherently political. True. So technically, all concepts.
I'm going to choose to not vote this for the president. Oh, that's a political choice. Fuck.
Wait, Wyatt. What's this Wyatt thing?
I see Wyatt. I have no idea.
I see Wyatt.
I don't quite know. That fool getting busted will make you laugh.
I see Wyatt. Is this a real thing? Let me Google this.
He's the gay Tiger King. Says Papa Cotton. But yeah, I don't know.
He was a TikTok personality, real name Wyatt Yeager, was arrested on March 20th last year after disputes with police and other witnesses. Police reports say that Wyatt, who has over 1.3 million TikTok followers, was driving erratically before stopping his car in the middle of the road in Sunrise, Florida. Let me look at his images. Is this like a fucking trans talker? Some of these are like weird pretty boy pictures, like wigger pretty boy. I don't know. No, it looks like a gay Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson's already kind of gay, so
yeah, don't need help in that department.
Looks like a total poofter. Do you read The Boys, Laszlo? Because in the comics, it's kind of overtly homophobic repeatedly. They're always saying like poof, which is like fairy or the cigarette word for, I guess, UK people. But no, like honestly, the discussion around Isom is like, well, does it suck? That's kind of like what intrigued me to actually read it.
Well, so what? So, like, yeah, one thing that I'll say, like, he's confident with it, which I think is a good thing to have. But like, I kind of agree with EVS's point with like, I mean, yeah, you should like even if you don't think that you're wrong, I don't know, if, like with some criticism, like I don't know, like because I guess the point is he's coming from it where he's looked at it, done it super amount of times. He's had people look through it. He's like got it to as best as he thinks it could be, and then releases it.
That's what's shocking me because like I read it and I don't know, just being film critical, I'm reading, I'm like, I'm doing this myself with Methgator, and honestly, I feel really fucking good about Methgator. What I got. You may not like the story, you might not care, but I don't think you're gonna once I'm able to afford making it to make the campaign. You'd be like, wow, this guy put thought into this. There's things that are answered in dialogue or just in actions. Like I said with the job thing, like the job thing was a big element of like, how does this guy work in the world? If it's a sort of real world, how would this work? I put enough thought into that already.
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of thing where, like, when I'm trying to make my stuff, like, like just with filming the Fat Speedster, like, I had filmed some things, and as I'm in, like, the project script's already been done, like, drafted and everything, like, part way in, I had to change a lot of it, because I was like, wait, this part makes this kind of dumb, which dominoed effect to the whole thing feeling kind of dumb to me. So I changed a whole bunch of it, and now I think it's a lot better for it with that, like with the change. And a couple things. I was gonna have a big old fight at the end, and I'm like, no, I hate that. Like it's kind of
right.
like
Honestly,
forced. And then
it feels like coasting. It feels like it half baked, or it's like doesn't feel well thought out. Honestly, and that's what's disappointing. Is to see such a success and a continued success in issue 2. And I'm just like, I don't feel it's well placed. Like it's fine to like throw your hat in the ring for Eric to like make a statement to mainstream, especially the big 2 comics that are kind of floundering, because they've definitely lost their way the last like 10 years. But yeah, honestly, besides the price tag, this has, besides like other people seeing the price tag that work for the industry for the agreed upon salaries, versus the direct money they can make from it going indie and making something. Besides that, this is not like, whoa, man, I saw #1. That shook. That's a Dark Knight Returns. That's Watchmen. Like, no, nothing close. Not even like you get like. This is why I brought this Stray Bullets comic up. This is the first issue. It's like it's got so much personality. There's so much to make, like it makes sense. It flows. And this is a very self-contained story. It's fairly real world. It's low stakes as far as like the universe or anything. There's no one super powered. So there's a lot of like stripped down elements. And it's like 27 pages. It told like a complete story with more that you could flesh out and play with. I don't know where this comic goes because it seems sort of anthological thus far, but loosely connected stories. Again, Stray Bullets, it seems like, okay, these are kind of like, Stray Bullet goes through a window, hits someone that was never involved in this shootout. I think that's the idea. It's like these kind of ripple effects of specific people into other people's lives, unrelated. That's what it seems so far. And it's like, wow, what a fun concept. He's telling very different personal stories too so far in the first 2 issues. And it's 41 issues, and I'm very excited to keep going through this comic. And then I see Isom with like 4 issues worth of paper to tell us story. Cyberfrog's like 60 pages. Cyberfrog 2 is like 68.
48 or 60 or something. I forget.
It's big. It's at least a couple issues worth of a normal comic. And some of it's indulgence. That's not bad. And it's like, all right, well, I'm not stuck to the like monthly deadline. So I'm telling like a more well thought out story that is less susceptible to continuity errors and stuff. And so that's definitely an appeal. But at the same time, it's like, I think there's the lack of restriction for most people will create bad stories. And yeah, it's weird because it's like there is like aside from the controversy of neggers of fuck people negging, what I meant. That's what I meant when I said neggers.
I know, I got you, but that's fine.
But I'm just like, oh god,
you're calling a Randy. Naggers. Oh.
Yeah. It's legit. It's legitimate criticism. Like, even if they're like, oh, they got he, him, and their bi or something. Like, no, they're like, these criticisms are legitimate if they've read it. It's not just because they're on the wrong side politically. That's what's irritating too. Is like, quit letting people that are negative, that are mostly on the left, don't let their politics affect like that specific criticism, because it's like it's very pertinent. This whole we're not woke. It doesn't matter necessarily, because like old Superman comics, like stand up for people like the work. It's like a kind of working class, like Roosevelt era Democrat is Superman at his core. The classic stories, and he's like fighting like the greedy businessman for the common folk. That's woke. He hates private business. That could be the spin, but I don't know.
The way that I would want to ask him is like, instead of saying like what, because somebody I think has asked like, well, what would you criticize in your book or something? I've heard like somebody else say that to him. I wouldn't phrase it like that. I would say like, what would you hope to improve on going forward? Like, you've made a book as best you can, but obviously this is just the beginning. And whenever you do a project, you learn more stuff, little tricks, little things. Like, what would you want to do better in future books, essentially? Like,
well,
the like,
Flash.
What would you want to improve on? What skills?
The Flashcast stream with Dick, when Dick came on, and he's talking directly to Eric, and he's like, well, okay, what are his powers? And he's like, well, did you see him do this? Like, he never even answered what the powers are, because he doesn't fucking know. I mean, maybe he actually does, like, his plan, but it's like, I don't know, man. Like, Spider-Man, again, he gets bit, and then he can, like, fucking, whoa, I'm on the side of a building. I can walk on the wall. What's happening? Like, you threw, like, and this is already an established guy that's retired, and it's like, I have no idea what his powers are, besides he can take a punch from another superpower being, and not die. So I guess he's got strength or resistance, because he's, enhanced, but like, that doesn't give me the range. Like, he, at one point, like, the cops come up and then he runs away. And so it's like, is he afraid to get shot? Or is he just trying to avoid, like, a criminal public image? Or, like, it's things like that. Or it's like, this would be great. Like, oh, no. I'm out of web. So I got to hide until I can get new web fluid in my shooters, like,
well,
things like that.
Like I've kind of said, I feel like this would be mostly a problem if like let's say that there's a scene where there's like somebody pointing a gun at his head and it's like taken seriously, like, oh no, he could die. But then it's like later, if he got shot and he can tank a bullet or something, I'd be like, well, wait a second. Well, that kind of makes that scene retroactively not as tense, because he'd be fine or something. Like, that's where I would have an issue, but.
Right. Okay. So like, there was inconsistency from the show, the way they showcase Stormfront in The Boys, but then she gets like stabbed in the eye, and that's like detrimental. It's like she's essentially like an immortal character, with
There's things like that, or like the guy who spits out acid, like his acid hurts himself, and it's like, well, wait, but it's your own acid. Surely you would. Like,
yeah, that'd
surely
be like
you
a
would have some
dragon
sort of
burning
thing.
itself with
Yeah,
its
that's
flame.
I'm like, I don't think that if a dragon burned its toe, it would hurt. It'd be like, that's my own fire. Like, I don't know. I with shit like this that isn't real anyway, and you're trying to come up with it, I feel like you'd like, I don't know, if you had knives come out of your freaking hands, like, I don't know. I imagine that the initial coming out doesn't hurt, but if you were to
Well,
stab
that's the
yourself,
thing
maybe
is, like,
it would. But
with
I don't know.
Wolverine, you learn is like, yeah, no, I got fucking blades I shove out of my fist to punch people with.
That's
but
an
it's like, oh no,
augmentation,
this
though.
goes through my skin.
Well, no,
I heal every time, but it fucking hurts.
The metal is an augmentation. I mean, like his initial stuff, I don't think hurt him, but when he got the
No, oh,
adamantium-
the bone claws, like that
Yeah,
still
like,
hurts.
I don't remember him saying that those hurt.
He's not impervious to pain. It's just that he regenerates. He feels all the pain. Like, you shoot him, he's healing, but it fucking hurts to do it.
Well, I'm just, I don't know. I feel like for most things though, like an animal that has claws has retractable claws, like a cat. It's like,
But that's not protruding from the skin. It's just the function of like the joints is retracting. It's not shoving out of its body.
But that's what I'm saying. I think it's kind of an odd thing because he's not like he wasn't like a altered human. He was born with this genetic thing. Why would its function be that it causes him pain? Like, that just seems like a weird thing to have with that detail. Like, well, luckily he can heal as well, so it's not as bad. But he still feels that's something weird. I would say, like,
I think it's weird, but I think it makes sense.
Like, I don't know, like if we had tails or something, but we can we're not, like, I don't know, like we're supposed to have tails, but then, like, I don't know, we can just retract them and they hurt a whole bunch all the time. Like, that'd be weird. Like, as a thing, it seems like just a complete defect.
Well, I think more if like a werewolf. Like, I think transforming, the idea of being a werewolf, I think it would be painful to have your body morph at night in the moonlight and then morph back. Like, I think you'd be like, oh fuck.
I guess I'm thinking of it like in terms of nature and like evolution. It's like, so why is it that this is what happens to you? Like, when a caterpillar transforms, is it painful? Like, oh no, I've got to turn into a fucking butterfly. Oh fuck, my body's changing. Or when a spider molts or snake sheds its skin, is that like a painful process?
Well,
like,
no. See, this is where you're wrong, because like baby's teeth, when you grow your teeth, that's painful because it's like protruding through your gums.
Yeah, but once you're fully grown and an adult.
Right, but think of like if your teeth would like retracted through your, like, not just like, oh, your gums are like pouches that like let them extend in and out like a snake or some fish that like shoot their mouths out, kind of like Alien. But like that's a inbuilt function. But think of like, you just have gums, and then to use your teeth, you have to like stab them through your gums. Like when girls and they're growing their breasts and shit, or like when women are going through menstruation, through the new cycle, it's like, it's painful because like your body's like morphing, when you have growing pains when you're a teen sometimes, because like your body's like, it's stretching out in a way, So no, I think it's actually thinking about human anatomy. It's like, oh no, it makes sense that it'd be fucking painful, because it's like, yeah, he can retract these bone claws or like his augmented adamantium claws, but it's like it's still puncturing through his skin. It's like, ow, and it's like, oh, okay, it healed, so it's not gonna kill me.
I don't know. I guess in the terms of the X-Men, and in the terms of the X-Men, though, I don't know, because it's like isn't the whole point that it's like, oh, it's evolution, so it's like just, I don't know, going faster and better than humanity now suddenly. So I don't know. I would assume there'd be less.
I think they've written it in some of the stories where it's like, well, it's an adaptation. It's not necessarily a evolution forward. It's just mutations, and that in some stories it's like, oh no, this random mutation in humanity of mutants actually like they've died out, or they're dying out. Like, so that's been a story thread in some of the X-Men comics.
Okay. You might be more right on this than I am. I never thought about it.
Well, think of porcupines. Porcupines have quills, and they don't shoot them, but they can like like flex them to like stab you, like if you're by them, and then they tense up, and it's like, oh, it's in my face now.
Okay, well,
But
you're right too.
Porcupines stab themselves because they're
still-
very clumsy, but they've adapted
to
essentially
deflect it or whatever.
natural antibiotics in their body for self punctures. So this is like a weird, like, it's an adaptation, but it's actually somewhat detrimental. So they've adapted to counter the detriment of their adaptations.
Yeah, I mean, because I like this conversation because it's something I haven't thought about really.
Yeah,
in a while,
when you're making a comic, it's like,
okay, so
this guy shoots claws out of his hands, but like, would that hurt?
Based on our conversation, I like the aspect of the stuff hurting you rather than just being fine and functioning properly, because that kind of gives some, like, okay, when you use the power, you're causing pain to yourself, or when you're doing something. Now I'm thinking again on X-Men 3. I think Angel or whatever, the kid.
Yeah, he tries to cut his wings off.
He has to scrape his skin off to make room for the fucking wings. That was horrific as a kid for me. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, ugh.
Well, no, he was trying to cut his wings off, remember?
Well, yeah, but the way that it was happening in that scene, like when he's a kid, I assumed it was like him trying to like make room for like if you're popping a zit or something. Like I assumed he was scraping skin off so that his wings can better pop out or grow out or something. I thought, like,
no, he was trying to, because like the X-Men trilogy is very much a gay allegory, specifically. It's very obvious. And
yeah, the movies, right,
yeah. And so that whole thing is like, oh no.
Oh, he's hiding. Okay,
yeah, because his dad, I think, is like a politician, and he's against mutants. And then his kid ends up being a mutant, which is a classic, like, this like anti-gay Republican. His son's fucking gay, and he's trying to hide it now.
I know that stuff now, but when I watched X-Men, I never thought of that. I was just like, these are like horrific mutation things.
Yeah, no, as a kid, you're just like superpowers. Like,
obviously, that's like weird, and like, there's Toad and Nightcrawler and other weird fucking things around. So your kid has wings growing out of his back. That's like, oh, what? That's strange. That's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. The appeal of the X-Men is like teen angst and the other. Whatever, it can apply to anything counter or abnormal to X society. That is the appeal of the X-Men. It can apply to anything.
But so I conclude that I will secede, or I will concede my point that you win that round, and I agree that stuff does make that better.
Right. Laszlo says, I'll be honest, I don't give a fuck about comics, but I like what Julian is doing, challenging modern day wokeism in these strange. All right, so that's the thing. A real challenge, standing for something political against the enemy political, would be like, this guy in the first issue, you have to establish like, this guy stands for truth, justice in the American way. Like Superman saying that is a shot across the bow at everyone else. And it's like, what's that meme of Berenstein Bear? It's like a 4th of July one, someone memed it, where it's like, fuck every other country. That's why Superman is an American icon, is because they purposely included the American way. So like, America is the standard of the perfect man. That's the illusion you're supposed to take from that. Like, America and what we stand for is the exceptional. This is the high point ideal of human society. And when you try to remove that and make Superman just, it's for everybody. It's like, no, everybody can get on board with America because we're right. And you, Viet Cong, are bad. You, Imperial Japanese, are bad. You, Nazi Germany, are bad. You're not American. Until you get on American level, you are the enemy. Your perspectives and initiatives are lesser than America. That is a political statement. All right. That counters whatever else was out there. Not that it's like the first big thing of, modern comics, but
yeah,
comics have been around since like the 1800s, I think. in like American press. But
pretty much. And then you got fucking hieroglyphs back in the day, fucking preceding everything. So
yeah, you
Yeah.
could loosely say comics been around for fucking with graffiti and stuff for a long time. If there's been like memes permeating society,
Well,
but the art form of like American comics is 1800s.
the caveman
newspapers.
Chungus, he made a good little
Uh,
wall comic
but-
in the day.
But yeah, like if he's making a counter to wokeism, he needs to have a character where it's like, I stand for, and it needs to be an issue 1, especially if it's 90 pages. It should be a clear statement of like, this is an exceptional standard, whatever it is.
That would already be so. Based on what you told me about the farm, see, now this is how I'd utilize the farm. I'd have the new recruit be somebody who is from the city or from somewhere that is more like California. This one came in from California. They got they're going to go to school, but they don't want to, so they have to get a job out here. Okay, so they're going to be somebody that is more woke ideals. It's going to be trying to day on the farmland first day.
Yeah, like in the first 2 Spider-Man movies,
challenge those ideals right there, but maybe not be so direct about it, but just simply, hey, move this stack of hay, and there's already a difference with something there already, or something like.
Yeah, there's nothing about Isom where it's like, I work a ranch, and that says something about me politically or about me as a person. And from this hard work, this informs my view of the world and how I exact justice, or how I used to. And because the world is so fucked, I've just no country for old men myself, and like have cut ties from society as much as possible, because it's not even worth me fighting for, because it's so far gone. The ideals I strive for cannot be achieved. Like there's no sense of that. It's just, I quit doing it. I never want to put the suit on again. And then
Yeah. Well,
it's stuff like that. Like this doesn't, like, what I'm saying is like, I like the idea, what you're saying, Laszlo, about challenge, but it's like a challenge would be like, they want to be woke, they want to pander to the, and it's like, well, no, the American flag is a pride flag. It's for everybody in this country if you want to get on board with America.
Yeah, could be even a simple panel.
Or the Gadsden flag of like, don't tread on me, if you want to be like libertarian. And it's like, there's no like this apolitical, I'm not telling a political story. It's like, it's lukewarm. It's like in the Bible, the illusion of like, you are neither hot nor cold, you're lukewarm, and I spit you out. That's what Isom is. It's lukewarm as fuck. This shying away from picking a side or what, and there's always like, well, you haven't read the full story. There's another issue. There's more issues. It's like, but making a statement against the current comics, you have to actually make a statement. And this is not a statement. This is just an amateur comic. And I don't mean amateur as an insult. It's literally, he's not professional. So
he doesn't have a history of comics yet. So this is number one.
Literally amateur.
Yeah.
Not an insult. And so it's not a statement. Like Spawn and Image Comics, the congregation of those artists going solo from DC and Marvel, I mean, like, we're gonna make our own fucking fuck you. I'll do what I want. I'm not getting restricted, censored, told what to do, what stories to write. Fuck you. I'll make my own company with my other artist friends. That in itself is a shot across, but it's already been done. So just making your own company to make stories you want is not revolutionary anymore. So that in of itself as like a business thing is not a shot across the bow, because it's already been done. People try to do this. Like I think Joel Jones, who's been a successful artist writer for like DC and Dark Horse that I know of, she works for like a kind of new like internet image company. Like, so this isn't, it's making your own company to make your own comics. It's not revolutionary in itself. You can go do that, and sure, they've gone corporate, like Image has gone somewhat corporate, so there's stories they won't buy into and tell or sell, whatever, but you can just make your own and do it, and that's fine. But it's not a shot across the bow anymore, is what I'm saying. This like challenging the status quo, the restrictions of mainstream. This isn't it. It's like Hal Jordan, at least historically, supposed to be like a Republican. He's a military pilot, so that would kind of make sense. But the real sell is like, he's the Green Lantern, not Hal Jordan's a Republican. And so you got to focus on just making a cool fucking character, cool powers, or a cool like tooling of already like archetypical powers. And it's like none of this is here. It's like, what is this? That's what I come away with this. And it's like, I'm interested. There's enough narrative like pacing to like, all right, I'm interested. Like, where's this going? Where's this going? And I'm blue balled the whole time. And then like it adds up to nothing. But I do like this comment. Genetically altered cat girls win, because we're talking about mutants.
Yeah.
Hairless
They're
cow
talking
or not?
about cat girls quite a bit there, definitely.
Yeah. I do. I'm loving Laszlo more and more. I am a bushman. When I go down there, I want to feel like I'm in Vietnam. I'm in the bush. Pop says, women love it when you gag up a hairball in their stomach trying to get a pube off the back of your tongue.
I guess so.
No, especially
Funny.
with the influence of porn on society for aesthetics. 30, 40 years ago, bush, to some extent, whether you groomed it or not, like that was normal. And now it's like no one has. So it's like, if you got a bush and you're not like already like bred out and got kids or whatever, it's like, ooh, it's kind of a statement. You don't care about the status quo. You're your own lady. And not like a feminist or whatever, but just, it's like there's a confidence to that like is naturally appealing to me.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But yeah, as far as the comic stuff, like, as I like seeing all these people try to do stuff, but
yeah,
it's
like
I feel like there is a tone where it's like, a lot of us don't want to criticize each other, or especially the creators of the comics, because this is their livelihood. They don't want, like, we don't want to discourage other people from buying their stuff because that could screw up their livelihood. That are in our sphere already trying to make a living off of it. But like, I mean, like with me, with whatever I make, I don't want people to pull punches. I want people to fucking lay into me if it's shit, or if
right,
or if there's things that could be improved. But I also want them to tell me things that they like. I don't want it to just be like, oh, it's fine. No. What did you like? Did you like anything? Don't lie. If you didn't, then that's fine. But tell me. Because if you don't, then I want to know. Like that's
dude. Again, that Flashcast stream with Dick and then View come on alert. It was so revealing for like the yes men of like the established channels that are all kind of friends streaming together. And it's like they didn't even know, they even read it. It didn't leave an impact. It's like months later after you bought. Oh yeah. Now I just read it. Yeah, that see right here. And it's like, you can't tell me what's like good about it. That's the problem. Is everyone's just like, "Whoa, it made money." That's the big takeaway. That's the big like, "Oh, your it made money." It's like, well, Captain Marvel made $1 billion, so I guess like by your logic, it's a good movie. Like,
right.
And they're like, no, that's woke, or it's like, just be consistent. Yeah. That's what fucking bothers me. Is our side. We've been fighting the media about Star Wars and Disney. Not even the politics, just the products, and or if there's like propaganda in it or shielding via propaganda of like, you don't like it because of women or minorities, all that crap. You're a bigot, even though you're an established fan long term of a franchise. We've been fighting that, and we want like this. Let's go back to Gamergate of like journalism, where it's like they're throwing softballs for subpar games or whatever because they got like the first crack at a article or interview, whatever, for like favoritism shit. And it's the same tone with how the media was like Ghostbusters, Last Jedi, Captain Marvel, etc. You saw what Rotten Tomatoes did for Captain Marvel. They changed the rating system of like people were downvoting Captain Marvel's like anticipation score, and everyone's like downvoting it down to like 27%, and then they changed it at like midnight and got rid of that rating of anticipation scores. because it was like historically bad for a huge blockbuster upcoming.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that. But then when we start doing it, when we're the ones fighting that, and it's like all these different shields. Oh, you're racist because he's a successful black man. It's like, whoa, that sounds like some woke talk. Like, that's what really irritates me about all of this regarding Isom and stuff and the shielding of it. But no, I again going at Super Killer and Vito, it's like he said, like, hey, if my book sucks, like fucking tell me so I can be better. And yeah, like I'm a backer, and it's like I think you should back this book if you like comics, if you want an interesting, fun new story. He has enough confidence that
I want to get it just to kind of compare it to Isom.
if you don't buy it, he's putting it out for free later digitally. So anyone can read the fucking book eventually and give their criticism.
Well, this was a question that I posed on Twitter, and I had a couple responses from some comic creators. And the question was basically, you remember when you and I were reading Isom a little bit, those 15 pages, and we were recording it. You know, that was kind of interesting because we were having a conversation and commenting on each page that we were reading, pretty much as we're reading it. And it's like that's an experience of one that's unique. And then I would plan to read it again if we did it that way. But it's like, like what type of stuff do they want to see in reviews? And a lot of them kind of say the same thing of like, well, show a couple of pages or like don't show too many or something. I don't know. It's like a lot of, give the best points that you can. That I don't know. I was just like, well, but don't you want people to see it? Because like when it's not like I'm saying that this is my work. I'm giving my commentary. I can understand hiding some parts of the story, sure, and some of the art, sure, but like, I don't know, like, do you want to hear from customers like what they think of your art and the pages and if dialogue makes sense and specific things? Because I know that when I see most comic reviews, they're pretty much glazing over a lot of things in general. Like, I thought that this character was good, or that this part happened here, this art looked good, this paper's good, stuff like that. And it's like, well, I don't know, like, where's the what about what's in it though? Just like the stuff that you and I read. We talked that we recorded for like an hour and a half just reading 15 pages, like talking about stuff as we read it and commenting. So yeah. I don't know. I would assume that feedback, I guess, on that level would be somewhat useful to some, but I don't know if it really would. But it's like, would they want to hear like a full in-depth thing from customers, like multiple customers? Like, I don't know if they did. They probably wouldn't listen to all of them because that takes time to listen to a lot of stuff in general. But I don't know. Like, I wonder how much people want to really hear about criticisms or thoughts.
He's fighting woke, so it's good.
No, I mean,
well, it's like.
Well, I mean, I think that like
movie.
Blacklist Universe, that one, the Lone Star, that was like,
oh my god,
that was more blatant fighting woke. That was an awful little book.
Right, so that was cringe too because it's like negging wokeness, but it's like I don't really get a sense of what Lone Star stands for necessarily. And he's in this like weird, like I don't know, they're like undead heroes from like the 40s or something. I don't know. It was I have to reread it, but it was legitimately like the first page or two. Like I said in my review, I've kept the review up because Smiller became like anti-CG, and it's like I left that review and the Doug TenNapel review because it's like Doug TenNapel went anti-CG, but Doug TenNapel made a fucking great book with Bigfoot Bill. It's legitimately a good, fun comic. And so like I've kept both reviews up to show like my objectivity, and because like I'm totally shitting on Lone Star. And I used to be war campaign, so you'd be like, "Oh, you just crap it because work." And it was like, no. Like, if you watch the review, like, I'm legitimately giving criticism on top of like, no, it's definitely fun to neg on Mike S. Miller, but like, it's legitimately a bad comic. But it has a structure at least, it has a payoff and a cliffhanger to get you interested in the next issue. So it's like there's a pacing still to it, and there's a progression. It's like, okay, like you're making a world, you got a world build and stuff. There's a lot of problems with like this girl's just like this hot girl is like head over heels for him, but he's like an aw shucks, like shy virgin. It seems like I don't know.
He's like Captain America,
Right.
Steve Rogers in a big boy body now, and I don't know how to talk to girls now.
Right. Yeah. This is kind of, implicit beta, like incel.
With how good I look, I've never had women hit on me before.
Yeah. It's like she's totally hot and wet for him, and he's just like, how do I talk to her? Like,
Well, in general, actually, I think it's kind of funny. That's why I'll be interested to see your comic and things you do in yours, because like the sex appeal of women, sometimes they're there, but like it's always a very much backdrop sort of sometimes thing.
yeah. I mean, the
I'm
first
curious
book.
I'm curious how you'll do it, because I know you and I talk all the time about our stuff, and it's like I feel like the way that you talk about it, you've got investment in it to make that stuff
So
memorable
okay.
when it happens.
So just so like Laszlo knows, I'm working on a comic Meth Gator. It's been in the works for years just because I've had stuff pop. Like I blew my transmission in my Jeep. I had $3,000 left on the Jeep, and I was on track with the overtime I was doing to pay it off like 6 months early for like the loan I got.
You haven't had time to get the money,
And then I blew my
yeah.
transmission, and so I had to get a whole new car. It's a used car, but I had to get a new car, and so that negative equity of the $3,000 roped into the new loan, so it made it hard. And I had bad credit. I've improved like 150 points now, but got a bad loan for an overpriced car during like the China incident that made all the chip shortages. So then like new cars weren't being, so used cars skyrocketed in price. And so that was a perfect storm of getting fucked on a loan for a new car and other stuff personal. So I've just not been able to fund making art sequentially for Meth, but it's a comic I've been in the works for a few years. And the first issue is, again, the thought process of like, all right, kind of like James Bond, I want a Bond girl. I want a variant cover or like a babe on the character's arm every cover, and to be new every cover. Or at least that's the hope. Here and there might be, oh, that character's back or continuing. But it's a new cover of the same hot girl, different pose, different artist. But I want a babe every issue, like James Bond. And I don't want it to just be a cover thing. I want it to actually have some character purpose, however deep. And so I'm like, all right, Meth Gator, he's pretty secluded. He's just mainly a like delivery boy of his surrogate father's moonshine to businesses. How would he have a woman? What would be there's got to be some story there to make sense. And so it's like, oh, well, she's a hooker. So that's my workaround of like, well, he's not very invested in society because he's a freak. So how would he have a lady? And it's like, well, she's a hooker. So he's got money. She's not going to say no necessarily. And that becomes kind of pertinent in the story. And how deep it'll go with Shelby the hooker, I don't know. But if you ever seen the movie Splice, I kind of want to go in that direction with her specific involvement with him. But like issue 2, I want to go to like the Everglades. And so I want to have like a Seminole chick, an Indian girl for that issue. So yeah, like I've put thought into like, like Xenoscope. They're really bad about having like hot covers, having these like gender bent or like rad kind of like in the vein of like Lady Death, princess characters like Cinderella, Snow White. They're fucking hot covers. And then you read the book and it's like, it's mid art. It's adequate, but it's nothing like the sell of the cover. It's just mainly fat material covers, that sells the book. People are buying it for the covers of great artists, of hot girls. The stories aren't good enough to like spend $8 for a hot cover, but you get duped because it's a hot cover. And so like I actually want to put like some effort into that of like, well, this character actually has some effect on story aside from being a hot girl for the guy to fuck or the Meth Gator to fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just that's the thought process I put in this stuff. Like I'm a comics novice. I got into comics because of Comicsgate. I do like the medium. I'm not writing off of tropes. I'm a movie guy, so I'm writing very like critically of like this needs to make sense.
I feel like the way that we write is like if you write something down and then you go, "Oh, this is retarded." Like we'll critique ourselves. Like, why would I do this? Why would
Yeah,
that
I'm like,
happen?
all right, I want a
Why would
hot
this
girl,
happen here?
but why
So,
would he have a girl if he's a freak?
like?
And so it's like, so as the time progresses, he can kind of become more normalized to some extent. And so it's not so crazy that he's like picking up babes as the story goes along. But the first issue, it's like, that's where I got the hook. I could have made it where it's like some neighbor like knew of them maybe loosely.
A young girl grew up with him or something, and
Right, she's like
okay
the kind of
him.
like Frankenstein, where it's like the monster meets the girl by like the lake, and so like she's like the he's like the
she's blind.
He's
or
the
some
freak
shit.
that like when she goes out and plays in the woods, they like hang out. He's like the feral child, and then they grow up in puberty and
or she's
adulthood.
blind. He comes across a blind chick, and
Right? Yeah, I could have done that, I guess, but like it's too involved. That detracts.
That's another Frankenstein trope. So
no, that's fine. I think it's a fine trope, but I don't know. I'm making an adult comic. Like kids can enjoy it.
But that's why I'm saying that I like
nothing
that
over the
angle.
top of like sex where you're gonna get like gratuitous fucking. It's not an X-rated comic, but this is. I think it's very clear that like you can make a kids appropriate comic, but like I think that's stupid. I think it's very clear that most people at the comic store are fucking 25 to 40-year-old, 50-year-old men.
Well, yeah, it's like video games, and there's too many other things that kids are doing that not as many of them are going to.
It's like I don't care to appeal to every demographic. It's fucking stupid. Who is the money demographic? Not that I'm out for money. Like this is just an organic like thought story off of like a news report from Red Gaze about meth gators, and I'm like, what? And so I had this idea in my head, and then once I figured out like a science explanation for his transformation, then I'm like, okay, I think I got a story here that could be fun. But this is for adults, I'm selling for adults with money that like this medium and want to see something wacky that feels familiar in some ways, but isn't written just comic tropey. It's written story critical. However good the artists I get, they can help me do the Marvel way of like capturing the story comically as the art form is intended. But I don't know what to like go for art wise for like, oh, have them do this, have this angle, this, that's out of my wheelhouse. I'm going to be very reliant on the artist to help me convey that stuff. But story wise, like I said, just with the girl aspect, how do I get a babe for this freak in the swamps? You see the thought process. That's what you're not getting that in the $3.7 million success of Isom. You do not get that. And like that's what shocks me. Is like I haven't even made a comic, but it's like I've put so much more thought. It's obvious, and I see other people have made successful comics. Magic Cop, Cyberfrog. Cyberfrog should like if July makes 3.7 million, Cyberfrog should be like 10 million. It's that fucking good. That's what's kind of flabbergasting about this. Like it is honestly not worthy of success. It's only successful because of a YouTube channel. It's not successful because of the merits of the book. That's what's irritating, that people are like, woo, money, haha. Like that's not a win. It does not permeate society. Spawn, first issue definitely was a huge hit because of the falling of the artist. But like again, there's a value to Spawn #1, however much they mass produced it, because McFarlane did great work on Hulk and Spider-Man and like revolutionized Spider-Man art. And so then it's like, well, he made a whole new character. Fuck, he's got goodwill for his profession. So like, yeah, nothing compares to Isom of like the success unearned in a way. It's earned of like hyping it up, having it's a personality product, honestly. It's not an art-based, merit-based for that medium. Earthworm Jim. Have you read Bigfoot Bill? Polygon. I always get confused because your name's Polygon, but it's like you're Wookiee supremacy. Wait, which game?
Oh, you're talking about
Earthworm
Earthworm Jim. So
computer drinks. This is in them. Yeah. I like the Earthworm Jim franchise because that was my nickname back in the day because I was uncircumcised. Nice. I wish I was uncircumcised. I don't like that chosen thing they do that has permeated the West, unfortunately.
Yep.
There's no need. Circumcision is not needed. Like there's sometimes development happens. Okay, we need to cut it in the kid's older. But yeah, I think like 80% of the world is uncircumcised. So like it's not needed. You don't need it. It's not. Just wash your dick. Just pull the skin back and wash it. Like people being lazy. This whole American Western like, oh, it's cleaner. It's like, well, just why can't you just teach your kid to wash his penis properly?
Wash his penis, brush his teeth. Get him used to all these habits.
Yeah,
But,
I don't know. I don't know if every successful masterpiece or start as failures, but yeah, like again, it should be like.
I mean, if anything, it starts with the curiosity.
To art.
It starts with curiosity from people, like not knowing what it is, because this is the first of its kind for this series. And then second one, I'd say so far, I mean, that's kind of representative of probably a more accurate thing.
Dude, Star Wars, I mean, Lucas had a little goodwill from the studios because he had a big success relative to the budget of American Graffiti, which I've watched, and I don't get the appeal. It's like a hot rod fan, like high school kids with their hot rods out on the town and some shenanigans. I don't.
You think of Howard the Duck?
I haven't seen Howard the Duck, but I don't get the appeal of American Graffiti. I mean, it's fun to see like young, Ron Howard, I think's in it, and of course Harrison Ford a bit. And it's like pleasant, I guess, but like it's not worth the watch. And but yeah, he had goodwill with that movie. And then they gave him a chance with Star Wars. And the thing about Star Wars is like it was a huge risk. That's why they let him have the toy rights, because it's like, hey, give the guy a bone. Like we'll be lucky to break even on this. We've sunk way too much money in it. It's only because of his established friends that they've convinced us to keep funding this to get finished, So it looked like at best break even, if not a loss on the budget for the year for Fox. And it turned out to be a huge success. But first of all, you had, previous iterations of film from Lucas, honing his craft, writing and whatnot, directing. And then also, he was very learned. He did a lot of research. He was a student of Joseph Campbell, a mythology teacher, a guy that left his mark on that profession. So he had like good tutelage. And so the proof's in the pudding, like the effort to like write this story and then make it come to life, and some help from friends and editing, his wife editing. But yeah, there's a lot just like implicit in George Lucas's effort, and again, like that's what's irritating about Isom. It's like going forward, I'm only interested in Isom like, how bad does it suck compared to the first one? Does it actually address any like pertinent story details? That's my interest in Isom off of issue 1. I'd love to have my foot in my mouth and then y'all can clip this and be like, man, look where Isom went. It's $1 billion movie franchise, like cool. I'd love it to have like the fun and endearment like a Spider-Verse film, Miles Morales, which is not a good character in the comics, but they wrote him so well in the fucking 2 movies. That'd be awesome. I'd love to have my foot in my mouth, and Isom actually turns out to be like fucking wow. This changed the game, and it's a valid IP, just like Iron Man or Batman. I don't see it. Daily Wire. They did the Gina Carano movie, the Trouble in the Prairie, or whatever.
Terror on the
It's-
Prairie.
Terror on the Prairie. It's a decent film. Like legitimately, I think I'd probably give it 7 or 8 out of 10. Carano is a very limited actress. She doesn't have the skill to be like a lead lady generally. I think they have a story kind of like Keanu with John Wick. They have a story that works within his acting limitations. That's fine to have limitations. Like I wouldn't expect. Well, after seeing Pig, maybe, but like Nick
Well, it's
Cage.
like Arnold isn't going to be fucking James Bond or something like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, Arnold wouldn't be like in a movie like Drive. You know, you wouldn't be convinced that
he wouldn't
Arnold
he wouldn't be in
would
Dragged
work
Across
as the
Concrete.
driver.
He wouldn't be in Prisoners. He wouldn't be in films that
Sicario
require
yeah.
a different range. Like, yeah, that wouldn't
Right.
Be,
He's a
he'd be the
typecast.
cartoon in those by that range. But
yeah, so it's not bad to be limited as long as you like get good roles for your limitations. So yeah, Terror on the Prairie is totally fine. Good movie. The villain, honestly, they rode the coattails of the ire from the Disney Carano situation to I assume some degree of success with subscriptions to watch it, but it's not a statement film aside from who they cast and who their company is. It's not a statement film.
it was I think that was their first film that wasn't documentary style. So
no, they did. I think Michiro wrote this like gun movie where it's like there's like a school shooting going on. And this girl has to like tap into like shit her dad taught her about guns and survival, and she like I guess takes out the shooters in the school.
Well, I guess I mean like one that isn't one that doesn't seem to represent their ideals, right? Like it was just a movie, right? Pretty much. Terror on the Prairie.
Yeah, I know it's a good Western movie. Honestly, if you're being like completely objective, the real like wow takeaway from that movie was Nick Searcy, the villain, because he's complex. You know, he's got this like it's just kind of a simple revenge tale. It's like, all right, there's these homesteaders that are like, you know, fucking struggling to scratch a living out of their homestead out on the prairie. And the husband's trying to like wheel and deal, sell whatever valuables they got to like make ends meet to pay for, you know, you homestead, you go to like a general store, you're working on credit. You get credit to buy shit, and then you gotta, you know, pay the store back for the shit you got to like establish yourself. And so that's kind of like the trope they're dealing with. And you can't find work, and then you're like, I think he goes and gambles, he gets seduced by a hooker, but actually like remains faithful. And so he's a good guy, and it turns out it's like a Civil War related plot. This guy, I guess, defected from the Confederacy, and somehow this tied in with the villain's daughter getting killed. And so he's been looking for this guy with his like posse. So like you think that they just kind of wandered across this homestead with a woman and her kids, no man around, and that they might be like rapers or something. But it's like actually they knew exactly where they were going. They were trying to find that guy, and so now they're like, she catches on, and now there's like a standoff, I guess is the word, in the house and on the farm, while she's waiting for her husband or a neighbor to come help her. And yeah, so it's like Nick Searcy was a real takeaway for me in that movie, but he's not getting the credit he deserves because Carano's name is the Cell because she was canceled by Disney, and so we got her to make a movie for the bad people at Daily Wire. Like that's the Cell. And I think that really shortchanges Nick Searcy's role.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, you started watching Drive? Yeah,
It's
Drive
good.
is amazing.
It's good.
It's that Sigma male energy. Oh, also, another comic. I don't have it to show you. Like I have it, but I'm not gonna like page turn it in front of the camera. I'll show y'all the website though. Actually, I'll go here. Sigma Comics. It loads up. I bought all 6 issues. You can get these, no shipping cost, just like a little tax at the end of your purchase. All 6 issues, I think I got for under $20. $2.99 an issue. And sorry, it takes a minute to go through to order shit. Order issues. There should be another. Yep. Print. There we go. Reader issues. All right. So this is Calico. And again, this is another. I've read the first 2 issues of the 6 I got. And this is just a random. I saw this on Twitter. Saw the pricing. I'm like, sure, let me try it. And better than Isom because it's coherent. This comic series is written by, to some degree, animal activists. And so the character is kind of an animal activist. And it definitely feels like a self-insert because apparently the creator of Sigma Comics is a former boxing champ in New York. And so this character trains mostly boxing and he wants to save animals. And so he's like a cat man. He's got a cool calico suit. And they haven't explained yet what is the tech of the suit, but he does have this kind of like Darth Maul orb that is like his helper droid to some degree. Or he's mainly just using it for a spy camera and I guess a projectile when he's in fights.
It's honestly just a ball for him to chase and play with when he's not
It's got catnip in it.
Trying to make it job oriented. No, it's a floating toy.
But yeah, this is the thing is I just pick up I pick up random comic books and I read the first issue and I'm like, wow, Isom sucks. And he put 4 times the amount of pages to tell the first issue. And it's like, wow, what a dud compared to here's a random independent comic company. Already got 6 issues out. And it reminds me very about the story, and it is, I guess, a woke comic. It's active. It doesn't feel Republican or Democrat. It just feels like an animal rights activist. And it feels like maybe an animal rights activist violent fantasy. And so the first issue, you kind of establish his viewpoint about animals are lesser and so they need protection because they have no advocates in the world. And it's he seems to be okay with people eating meat, but the top people that maintain the factory farm system, just butchering willy-nilly, or big exotic game hunters like lion killers or whatever. Even though if you're a legitimate hunter, you spend thousands of dollars to get one tag to try to shoot a lion, and it actually helps preserve the population of lions or elephants. But whatever, you're now rights activists. You think you can't cross this line. Zoos are bad. So this is the character's perspective, and he's kind of an extreme Punisher type character for animals. And so these people, I guess he got tipped on. These people hunted lions, and so the cubs that were left got traded out to different collectors or whatever. And so he finds them, and off panel he found the daughter, who was an adult, but he found the daughter and cut her head off and put it in the taxidermied lion's head that was delivered to their house. And then he fucking butchers the husband and puts a fucking pipe in his ass and melts a candle into it and then makes that a new candle and lights it and so then the guy dies from shock. And then the woman, his wife, dies from the shock of witnessing all this. And then the next issue, he finds this guy who I guess went seal hunting, the people that just fucking beat the hell out of the seals on the ice, beat their heads in. And so he finds them and serves them justice by beating him to death with a bat and then serving his head with a bat in it to his birthday party that he is not attending because he's dead. It's so over the top, ridiculous and violent, unmercifully. but it's like it's concise for what it's going for. And I've only read 44 pages so far, and it's like I know more about this guy already than I do from 96 of Isom. And it's like this is why I keep beating this dead horse. Is like no, just pick up a random #1 comic of like the first issue ever of a character, and it is better than the $3.7 million success of Isom. I gotta beat the dead horse. So it's just this makes it more exciting because of like seeing this just like objective like disgrace of success. And then I read just random shit of like, yeah, they made maybe like 10,000 on a campaign to make this comic. It's so fucking good. I get it. It told a story. Okay, I'm comment chat. But yeah, go check out Sigma Comics. I might be having this guy on soon, the H.H. German, the writer and creator of Calico.
Sweet.
It's bonkers. I like it in a weird way. It's crazy. Possibly won't like it, but it doesn't feel necessarily political either. But it makes way more of a statement.
I feel like our chat will love it because they're getting all uppity about, or like in a good way, about the cat girl stuff that we didn't even bring up. I mentioned Humans and Tales. That got
he does get a blowjob.
Whole cat conversation. So you guys might like this book a lot. There
is a full page. It seems like that's probably my biggest complaint so far. Is like, I mean, it's cool that it's hot girl full page spread is like on her knees blowing our character. It's like, I guess, a movie type censor where it's like, oh, he's getting a blowjob, and you tell she's a hot girl doing it, but you're not seeing any nudity. It's one of those kind of shots where it's like from behind her facing his cock, so you don't see nudity, but tasteful, if you will, in its delivery.
Austin Powers.
yeah, like the Austin Powers 2 opening, yeah. Like I was
saying like silhouettes where it appears to be gross or sexual, but it's
not.
Yeah. But from that angle, it looks like it.
Oh no, I mean it's explicit of he's getting fucking blown, but like that. Yeah, it just felt abrupt where it's like, yeah, the hero's fucking a girl, nice, but it's just like
turns out it's a dude.
Even better.
Just the record scratch. It's a dude.
No, that'd be. I mean, for me, I'm like, cool. Long as he's hot.
But I've got to pass the steak I ate, and
no, you're fine. Yeah, we've gone on. I just had fun. Just the thought process of all this. Like, this is when an investigator comes campaign wise. Like, I've put thought into this.
So if anything, a good thing is that Isom brings out a lot of conversation from.
Yeah, a lot of conversation, a lot of thought of like, what the fuck, man? You could be doing anything, and like this is what you gave us. Like it's really baffling.
It's like I see it also as this is the first one. Like
right. No, so that's the excuse. That's the excuse.
Well, it's like no. So I'm not saying that doesn't mean it gets excused, but I'm saying that there could be more that are
that's the yes men. If they concede that, okay, yeah, they'll be, well, it's his first comic, and it's like, see, I would give him that, but given his fucking vitriol back at any criticism, it's very Ryan Johnson. And so I'm like, fuck you.
I've already told you this, but like I refer to it more like Peter Jackson. Like he made some great films and majority of shit films. So like, it's not impossible to have something come out, but until I see them, then I can't say. So
no, that's totally valid. Like, yeah, even successful will make bad movies.
But regardless, it doesn't take away whatever the takeaway is from the first one. That's not what I was implying.
Yeah, no, it's just like I would totally concede. Like, it's his first issue. As long as he's like improving and working on it, and learns from his mistakes in the future, I could totally let this. But like, given it's kind of like fucking foot in the sand about like, oh no, like these criticisms aren't valid. It's like, like your stalwart position about your own value, that really drives me away. Like, be humble, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you look at
Well,
someone
I
like
mean,
Michael
it's the
Jordan.
kind of thing where I do wish that like more of his peers, like Yellow Flash and EVS and other people he hangs out with, will
EVS
like
has been
if they.
diplomatic, and I get
I
it.
want them to have read the book and to legitimately voice things that they think either is a criticism or they think could be better or whatever. Like, and see what he takes from that. Is it the
This is
same
not a neg
reaction, or
on
is it at least,
EVS.
the same, or is it at least like, okay, like I understand that that's how you feel then. At least, like, does the reaction change or is it the same?
Yeah, so like when I had Edwin the Ace, who you can go to Fun My Comic and find his his current comic campaign. It's Rise of the White Leopard. It looks really bonkers.
Rise of the
Like,
White Savior.
it looks great. It's a Viking story, but then it's got like this like pocket universe island essentially that he can do anything with.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit, and it looks like very moody. I feel like Beowulf, like that's like the feel I get from the art of his book. It's black and white. It looks fucking great. I'm not gonna search the link, but just look up Fun My Comic, you'll find it. I backed it, and I've backed a couple of his books before. And I told him on stream, I'm like, I just want to say this like live because it kind of puts me on the spot to be like blunt, but I'm like, if I only backed issue 1 and I didn't like, not have the money of the first one and then asked to like double up on your 1 and 2 pack, if I read issue 1, I wouldn't be a backer for issue 2. But thankfully, things happen where I backed issue 1 and 2, and issue 2 really makes up, and kind of retroactively you read issue 1 and you're like, oh man, okay, like yeah, it's simple and it's still like it's not fine tuned.
Yeah, when I read issue 1 of Ace, I was like, okay, this is a start of things, I guess, but it felt really weak, and I was disappointed. But you said that the second one's better, and I have that one too. I haven't read that one yet.
Yeah, no, number
But,
2 really like it feels like a good writer progression, and like he's honing his craft issue to issue, and the story's getting more involved and more complex versus a very kind of comic trope, like Spider-Man, Superman, Green Lantern, Iron Man, kind of conglomeration, simply put, with his character, where it's like it feels very familiar, and retroactively, it's like, okay, I mean, it's very simple, but it's got heart, and it feels familiar if you like comics, if you like comic movies with like origin stories. But it feels like it's gone too quick, and then he's got extra pages of like little like vignettes of other ways to go in this universe, and it's like, I think you should have just, if you're like had a page limit, I think you should just focus using those pages to like give a little more beef to the story. And I said all that to him directly on stream, like start, and it's like, I like your shit, but if it was just the first issue, I probably would have stopped there. But luckily, I got both of them, so I see like, oh wow, he's growing as a writer already, and it's just getting more complex. So it's like it's for, as a customer, it's good for you that I actually got stalled in backing you and had to do a bulk buy. Net positive, and first book isn't bad. It's just like it's overly simple, and like it feels like it's not quite there. But yeah, it's like, unfortunately, it takes balls, I guess, to say that, to do that. Instead of just being a yes man, where it's like, well, I'm just going to say nice stuff and simple platitudes, when really, if you poked them enough, they'd be like, oh, I didn't like it, or I thought it was lame, or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, what? See, like I fear, like if I were to
where
do
are we growing?
campaign,
If we're an echo chamber of yes men, like where are we growing?
So Angus, like, how would you feel if like you made Meth Gator? And I mean, that's how I feel. Like if I were to do a campaign of some kind for comic or movie, whatever, and it's like, okay, I actually get funding, and a lot of people liked it. Or as far as like they seem to be interested, and like let's say like $50,000 or something, just like amount. 50,000. Wow, it's like, 10 times more than what I thought I was going to make. And then it's like, okay, I send them out, and then it's like people like maybe post on Twitter, hey, look, I got it. And then it's like a week goes by, 2 weeks go by. Nobody's really fucking talking about it. Like, what? Or they're just saying, oh, it's good. I'd be like, can I get any feedback of like anything in it? Like, when I don't know, when you like something, you can point out what you liked, and when you don't like something, you can easily point out. The Last Jedi is the perfect example of us being able to critique the fuck out of anything and give praises where we can as well. Like that's.
Yeah, honestly, it's probably the best shot Star Wars film. It's like, it's film-wise a very good film for the technical aspects.
Well, I mean, I'm saying it's an example of like showing how us YouTubers can be critical and give praise here and there for certain stuff. And it's like, if like for the indie campaigns, like I would want that to be there too, of like,
yeah,
this was good, I liked this part was good or bad. With the Red Gaze of Sunsworn, I've never heard anybody talk about it. Like his book, this novel that he did, I never heard anybody talk about it.
I read the first couple chapters. I actually need to finish reading it. I suck at reading.
Yeah, well, it's like my goal is to read that as well before October. I want to read that and give it a review.
I think what I've read, it flows fairly well.
It's like if he got no feedback from anybody, like he makes this, and it's like if he got the funding and the money, but like if nobody read it, that would be a huge blow to me. I'd be like, oh man, I put all this effort into all this stuff, and I want to know what people think, and nothing. In the world of social media, where everybody like wants to talk about everything, and they don't want to talk about mine that they bought, like, that would almost tell me silently that they don't like it, or they didn't read it at all because they don't care. Like,
yeah,
that would be
that's
like
the problem.
I don't know if I'd
problem in
want
comics gaze, like, oh, like it looks cool enough, I'll buy it, and then you just have bought it and you don't read it. It's just whatever. Like I don't even get that. It's like we're trying to make like a second Image revolution in a new format of like, we're all kind of independent, where none of us have to be linked together to do this. The creative freedom, like that's another problem with the anti-woke stuff, is like, just be creatively free. Like it's okay. Like Catwoman in the Batman, where she's like white privileged, blah blah blah, and everyone got butt hurt. And
you can have a character that says that, and still
you can have a character that thinks liberal things, and your book is not woke. To like have the reality of the spectrum of political thought in a book, and it's not necessarily berating the wrong opinion that you think's wrong.
That's exactly what we were doing with the example with Isom earlier. If he were to put an opposite position of woke in there, have a character that is sort of that variety, that where there can be a conversation or a conflict, or
nuance.
Even if it's
all right,
brief,
you're woke, but you got a point.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like, it could be like, they're wrong in one way and then right in a different way, or at least leave it to the reader to decide what's right or wrong, but have the characters make their statements or something.
Yeah, like if it's not bad to have politics in a comic or a medium, especially like Dark Knight or Civil War, where it's like, what is the right answer? Or like Game of Thrones, where it's like more just like political philosophy and theory of like, we're kind of examining different ways to rule within like just the leadership and your cadre, or like as a ruler over people. And you're seeing all these like, all right, well, you're a liberator, but also in this kind of Alexander the Great template of Daenerys, you're also a fucking slaughtered a lot of people to free more people. So you can say it's a net positive, but also you're like kind of destroying an established society for your vision and making new chaos, and this is a problem of like being like, it's one thing to conquer, but like it's another thing to rule. And you see like that counter with like Robert Baratheon, where it's like, he was a great fucking conqueror, great, warlord, but he's a shitty fucking king, and he's just like self-indulgent. He didn't give a fuck about people. Because like, oh, I'm at the top, I'll do what I want. And it's like, well, that's a fucking awful ruler.
Well, and even
and then Jon Snow is completely self-giving, and all he does is keep getting fucked, either literally by his comrades, or like any decision he makes gets a knife in his chest.
Yeah, he's always got to look around him for that. I mean, even our boy in House of Dragon, he peace for like 30 years or so, and then it's like that is just building up to be probably
he'll
the
be
most
remembered as
vicious
an
war.
impotent king.
Yeah, it's like right under his nose and in front of him, his family is about to bring the world into a huge war. Oh, it's peaceful now, but your death will bring the waking of a huge fucking war. So
Yeah, like he can be political.
He ignored. I've heard Mahler and them talk to with one of those guys we've watched videos on that talk about Game of Thrones and stuff, and they brought up when his flesh is rotting a little, and he's wanting to have the maggots eat it instead of cutting off his hand. That's a good representation of how he does things. Where it's he
measures.
He puts a Band-Aid on it, but he doesn't try to treat it or anything. He could have done something that would end it immediately, and that would be a strict, harsh decision. But he doesn't make those. He makes how can I do this? How can I put out the fire without getting wet or burned? It's what? Okay, you can do it. You could try to blow it with your breath, but water or sand would be a better option. But you'd have to go get that.
Yeah, he's inept. He's it's an allegory of there are no good rulers, or if you are, you're destroyed by the power. Because it's you have all these different allegiances you have to maintain. You have to serve the people, but then your hierarchy that you're a part of has their own motives, and you have to manage that. And you got to be Machiavellian.
And you and Daenerys, who would betray her? Oh, Jon Snow, the most honorable guy ever, ended up killing her.
For the people.
cause. It was for the good cause, but he had to betray his entire life morals essentially to do that.
And he's always going to be remembered as the Queen Slayer, so he's going to be more reviled than Jaime Lannister.
Yeah, his father is bro, you killed the queen. I hate king killers or whatever. Okay,
it's impossible to be a good man in power. You have to be ruthless in some form or fashion. Someone's got to get fucked.
Yeah, if
you're just trying to possibly mitigate how many.
The more inept you are, it's like the trolley thing or the railroad thing. It's the inept ones are the ones who don't make a decision, and then everybody gets hurt in some way. Instead of making a harsher decision, a few people get hurt, and a better resolution overall.
Yeah, it's like Truman. There's definitely lots of people that vilify Truman for dropping the 2 A-bombs, and it's I'm an American president, so it's going to take 1 million men to take Japan. That was projections because of how entrenched the people were for the imperial state of Japan.
They were going to have fucking children strapped with bombs and blow up tanks and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they were already kamikazes, suicide pilots, because we only got so much fuel, so your plane is now a projectile to hit a fucking ship for the good of Japan.
Yeah, you get no bullets, you just run into them.
Yeah, and so people, the average person's willing to kamikaze themselves in some form or fashion for the state. So how many Americans is that going to cost? Oh, well, I can just kill 100,000 Japs and it'll end it. All right, yeah, drop it.
And there's less casualties on both sides that way too, in a way.
Exactly. He made a hard decision. I mean, maybe it wasn't hard for his own perspective. Oh yeah, do it.
But it's it also set a precedent for the world that saw it. That's we don't want to
never drop another A-bomb.
We don't want to have that ever again. What if
the only nuclear catastrophes we've had is a couple reactors melting down?
What if we had them, didn't use them, other countries make them, and world probably would have been fucking destroyed at that point, or at least
America is probably, and NATO have probably not directly involved themselves fighting Russia, because Putin's hey, A-bomb, stay out of it. And so everyone's whoa, okay, we'll just
we'll funnel things through the hole.
Yeah, we'll funnel things.
We're not going to be on people. We're not going to go into Russia. Oh, no. That's a little.
And it's I mean, honestly, he's not going to A-bomb anybody because he wants something.
Even Russians know that wouldn't be a good world choice. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's war game. It's mutual self-assured destruction.
No one wants to take Russia anyway. No one wants to be in Russia. Like no one wants to be in Russia.
Yeah.
Russia can keep it because nobody wants it. That's a horrible place to live.
No one is taking Russia. Like whoever's in power of Russia, no one beats them.
Hitler was like, guys, I got things. I'm evil, but I'm not that evil. Like
Napoleon and Hitler, two great warlords, couldn't take it. Like it's a country that
you think that modern day people can with our determination levels.
Afghanistan has been, weakened historically repeatedly, but no one's ever like actually Alexander. Even he kept having problems in Afghanistan. He had to keep backtracking. It was a big depletion of resources. Dealing with them, like it's just an unconquerable land.
It's like wild. You know what? Why am I bothering? How about I just don't? Let's just not be here. There's other land.
Literally not worth it. So yeah,
land elsewhere else. Yeah,
it's like they just want their land. They want some new land.
They can't even
their borders.
Like they're not even invaders. So it's like, why would it? It's not even a threat really to you. So yeah, just fuck off and you're good.
Wow.
But
Laszlo with some info. 1942 Japan, they ditched the schooling curriculum and taught schoolgirls to make bamboo spears to charge US GI invaders. Well, I applaud them their devotion.
Nice.
Only America was that devoted.
I saw a Twitter video of an elementary school of kids assembling and disassembling pistols. And I was like,
I shared that. I was like,
nice.
Chinese children ready to liberate America.
That's probably where I saw it from. That's probably where I saw it from. To save America.
Yeah, I welcome that.
They want American movies. If other countries were to try to take over America, they don't want to supplant anything. They just want to take out whoever's in charge. And
dude, that's a kind of a counter. It's like, you know who else hates woke movies? China, but like we hate China. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, crossed.
Mm-hmm.
Wires are crossed.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Well, it's like I've said, it's like I'm rooting for China because like they are a huge impact on Hollywood, and Hollywood's like stuck because it's like, all right, we want like that 25% of the box office that China can give us, but oh man, they're not buying our woke crap, and so they're stuck of like, well, you're bigots, but they can't say it because they're Chinese. They're a minority technically, even though they're single Asian countries, 1 billion plus people. An eighth of the world. They're not really a minority, but they are for America because we're a white nation. And so it's like they're stuck. They don't know what to do. And so it seems like they're trying to just like evolve to like just ignore China and take their successes where they can't. Like Fast and Furious has done good over there. Transformers has done good over there. But like Star Wars trying to plug in black people and shit, they don't want that.
Yeah. But I seriously do have to go take shit.
Yeah. No, you're good. Been fun. Didn't know I had to go this long, but now I gotta work tomorrow, so it's all good. Good hanging out with you, Laszlo, Sony McInernett douche, Papa Cotton, Karen, Hoff popped in.
Yeah.
I
didn't see no Key to Ya Chow this time.
Yeah, he's hit and miss.
That's all good.
But and there's this guy Brian S. Thank you for joining. Yeah.
We'll read it. We'll read White Savior next time.
Tuesday. I should be having. I know it's like 4th of July, I think, but
yes,
should be having Super Plumber Girls on stream. It's like a Mario-esque like girl buddy.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Like I don't care about Mario.
I might want to get
fun
that
concept.
one. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
I should be having him on next week. Barring 4th of July getting in the way, won't for me, but might for him. Should have him. And then the next week, I got this guy I've been following for a while, and he's finally released his campaign. It's like an 18-year-old comic artist. It's his own comic, and I think he's already got like $30,000 first few days. He was on David Finch's stream. I think it's David Finch. Big comic artist, cover and interior, really good stuff. So he's got the attention of a real comic artist. very excited to have this guy on, pick his brain. Such a young guy doing great stuff. I have no idea what the comic's about, but I've seen the art. It looks fucking awesome. So I'm excited. And in the meantime, Back Super Killer by Vito Gesualdi looks awesome. Got a few days left on the campaign. I don't know if he's going to go in demand or not, but he's definitely available to be in demand. And it just looks like a truly fun book. If not, then just wait for the free PDF to judge it for yourself, maybe back in the future. But yeah, thank you for hanging out with us. Listen to us read a comic and pick apart what we know of Isom. I know more than Rookie thus far. Maybe we'll get updates on that next week. See you next Tuesday, possibly, and definitely Thursday. Stay beefy.
You just called people cunt.